streaming,
You
and
do that.
we're gonna see if it works because it very well might not.
You never know until you do.
Yep. Copy video URL.
Okay. This is going well.
Okay, we'll just. Okay.
Okay.
It seems that something is there. Okay, well, all right. I don't want to just keep saying the word okay over and over again, which I will if I don't stop myself. Right, I don't want to just keep saying the word okay. Ah, shit, I can hear myself. That always freaks me out when that happens.
I can hear myself too when I think. Very scary.
It's always funny that apparently some people don't have an internal monologue.
I don't really.
I was gonna say we call those people idiots, but
no, it's fine.
Present company excluded, of course.
I don't have an internal monologue really. I hear words, but it's more of a collage thing where I hear snippets of sound of things I remember or want to say. Or...
I'm not saying I narrate word by word thoughts in my head every time. So, like a concept that immediately becomes.
If I'm gonna grab a can, I'm not like I will grab this can in my head.
I think you guys need to learn what the word monologue means.
I know, but that doesn't mean constant. Yeah,
but no, a monologue is a coherent.
Doesn't mean literally for every single second.
Yeah, but I don't even
from the day you're born till you die.
Well, I don't ever really think in words. I don't think I never see someone do something and hear in my head, I wonder why they did that. I do hear words in my head, but they're just like I said, it's like a collage. They're just disconnected snippets of random stuff I remember, or
I've always
what I'm going to say later.
I've always suspected this argument is just people have misunderstanding each other's definitions of like the things.
That is a majority of disagreements about things.
I've always thought it. I don't think people have that different thought processes unless they're purposely trying to have an inner monologue for some bizarre reason.
I think people do vary.
Sometimes have them, like when they rehearse what they're gonna say. But for like most reaction and motor functions, people aren't really thinking out loud in their head.
Right.
I mean, I have entire fictional conversations in my head.
Yeah, I do too. I have like arguments with straw man versions of people I know in my brain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do that all the time too, but I don't think. I don't have thoughts.
Oh.
Head empty.
Yep, head empty. Do you guys ever, you know how some people say some people have more visual thoughts and some people have more word thoughts, where some people think in words and some people think in images?
I've heard of that, yeah.
I don't think I think in images really at all. I'm a very weak visualizer, I think, in terms of, inside my head.
Definitely mostly visuals, I think.
Yeah, that apple chart where people say...
Anime gags. Like anything I come up with, it's an anime gag in my head played out. That's how my visualization works.
The inside of my head.
I literally walk around like hallucinating anime openings from Ezreal. Just like I see it all animated in my head, all the arcs and all the characters running around.
When I got into hallucinogens, actually, there's a thing called aphantasia, where some people who have such weak visualization inside their head, for some people it hits the extreme where they can't even see things when they trip. If they take a drug and close their eyes, they just see black. They feel weird, but they don't see anything. I am not to that degree. I think I just am shitty at it. Hello, Ridwan Saeed. This is more word versus shape propaganda. I promise this is not where we're going with this. We just have to establish that some of us are NPCs. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're hanging out. We're gonna
NPCs rule the world.
Making up a word and then acting like people should know what it means. That's exactly what we're doing.
Hey, NPC isn't. That's a video game.
No, that was the whole joke behind word cell and shape rotator, was that they were going to make up a bunch of words and act like they meant something so that people would believe that they meant something.
No, I think those are real things. There are word cells. and shape
I
rotators.
don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Well, there are people who are good at thinking in a way where they can like design
see.
three-dimensional objects, and they're good at
Yeah, I've
understanding
definitely
the
always
physical
been good
world.
at that.
And there are some people that use language. Like some people don't really use language at all, you know? Like if you can write a book but you can't design an iPhone, then you're a fucking word cell. You know, it's real.
I mean, I've always been very good at like 3D visualization of objects in my head.
I suspect the
Wait, they have
artist
a word
is a
for
shape
that.
rotator. Yeah, shape rotator. That's what you
Yes.
are. Okay. Is everyone
Well,
ready
good.
and comfortable? We have one person here for the moment before we scare them away. They thought they were on an shape rotator.
I let one person in the chat there.
Yeah, it happens. Who knows?
This
Maybe
is
we'll get a
all my
second.
fault, so I apologize.
I'm sorry. We are here to do some 3x3s. We will be judging each other. There will be a prize. There will be
Harshly.
insults. My internet is not amazing right now because I just moved again. So there's a tiny chance this whole thing will collapse, but we're going to go forward in faith. First, we have John. John, do you feel comfortable putting your 3x3 here?
Well, it's too late because you've started with that as the default image.
Yes, I have. Okay,
So,
John,
and
are you
I
ready
think
for
out it
the
goes.
struggle session? Starting out, you
yeah, the
put
struggle session.
you put Shauna in the middle. Was that by design?
Yes. Yes.
So that is the show that
Yeah,
most represents
I've
your
always been
taste.
conflated if the center square or the top left square should be the most important.
Well, obviously the center.
I think it has to be the
Really?
center just because it's the only one with a unique position on the board,
Yeah.
right?
But
Two-
when I make them, I'm like, ooh, first slot, I'll stick what first comes to mind to me in there.
I don't think
And
it's
that's
consistent.
not wrong. That's not wrong
Yes,
to think that way.
I'll just
I
say in some of mine, the middle one is the most important, but in some of them, it's like the middle.
Well, you
well,
have
and that's why we're talking about them instead
have
of just
9 of them.
posting them and letting other people silently judge them.
so
I
we'll
have
get
12
there.
of them.
Okay.
Yes.
First thing, I'm going to notice immediately, and John, you should be ashamed. This is all very recent anime. Not a lot before
Yep.
2000.
Ooh,
Maybe not a
oof,
single
ooh.
show.
Ah. Ouch.
What is the earliest show here?
Yeah,
Probably
well-
Shauna.
Yeah, that's like 2003,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
I think Kill la Kill was. I don't know. Kill la Kill was like early 2010s.
2015. 2014.
Oh,
It's 2014, 2015, actually.
Oh, it's actually pretty. Oh no, it's
Yeah.
10 years ago still. Fuck, getting old.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you? Why is God
still
doing
not
this?
it's still not old school though.
I have seen older anime, but a lot of it.
It just
Yeah,
didn't make
just
an
a lot
impression
of
on
it.
you.
If
Well,
RA
it's
was
like-
here, we'd be like, "Where's your new anime, bro?"
Yeah, it would be the opposite. It's not like old anime is bad, or that I dislike it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, that was a favorite.
makes sense not to
And
resonate that
you
much.
also
Although
have
it
to
is
take into
interesting.
consideration. I have only
Yeah.
been what you would call into anime for like 5 or 6 years at this point. I've always
Damn,
been
dude.
tertiarily aware of anime as a medium. I watched some shonen stuff growing up, like Dragon Ball, because who hasn't seen that at this point? But
I haven't.
okay,
It was very popular in Portugal.
it was hard to at least avoid knowing what Dragon Ball
Yeah.
was, right? Even if you didn't have
Like-
access to regular anime. And we
Especially
didn't,
if you were alive during the 90s.
yeah, because it was just so culturally dominant. And there's some other stuff like I thought about maybe putting Rurouni Kenshin on there, but that one hasn't stuck with me as intensely as I thought.
I don't think you need to justify it. It was just an observation.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah,
But a
observation.
lot of the
I've
stuff that I
finished.
have watched over the last 5 years has been, from
An
the 2010
observation of how
onward.
wrong you are.
Yeah,
No.
observation number 2. Shockingly small number of male characters on this.
Why does that
Oh?
shock you?
I
Yeah, why is
don't know.
that shocking?
I'm just looking for things
Most
to
anime
observe.
fans are into the girls.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a reason why waifu is much more prevalent than husbando.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Okay, my 12 ball is done.
I have not. Thank you, Michi. Right in the nick of time. Also, I have
Yeah,
not seen that
yeah.
many of these. I've seen Toradora, Monogatari, Konosuba.
I should probably have
Kill
a
la
look at this
Kill.
thing.
I've seen exactly half of them. I've seen 4 of them and half of Steins Gate.
Wait,
Okay.
where did you
Yeah.
where did you post this?
Me?
Yeah,
Just
I
drop,
put it in the
just drop
general
it in
chat in
Discord.
Discord, like
I don't.
whatever day. Oh, but I sent it to Green
Yeah.
again, like
Yeah,
DM.
I don't.
If you want me to drop it in the chat.
I don't see it because I'm not looking at the stream.
Yes, harems
Okay.
have
But in
shockingly
general,
few
Yes,
males.
I will do that right now.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
I have
don't
also
think
not
any
seen
of
many
these,
of these actually.
except Konosuba. Well, okay, Monogatari you could call a harem as well.
It is.
So
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
it's post harem.
Post harem, like post
yeah,
Marxist or
in the
post
sense,
Christian.
just because
Post-harem
Araki's a
singularity.
faithful boyfriend doesn't mean that it's not a harem anime.
Calling Toradora a harem is like.
But no, I
No,
wouldn't
there's
call
like
no.
Toradora
there's
a harem.
3 girls.
Absolutely
Well,
not.
Steins Gate is
Also,
kind of a harem too.
also Toradora, there's a bunch of cross relationships across the genders. It's not just one guy and a bunch of girls around him. A bunch of characters are
But they
interested
are
in a
all
bunch of
into
different
him, though.
characters.
Yeah, it's like a love octagon.
That's true, but there's also Taiga and Kitamara. I mean, is it a reverse harem at the same time because Taiga has multiple love
I mean,
interests?
there's always a main girl. She she has one and then she switches to the other. It's
a harem is one guy surrounded by a bunch of girls. If there are 2 relationships, it's not a fucking harem.
I'm just being pedantic and saying
that
Kitamari
there is no-
in 2007.
There-
so
there
that
is no
the only
minimum
anime out
number.
there.
Yeah. Like
No,
in
Shana is
Monogatari,
older,
there is not
right?
in Monogatari there is not a
Shana's older than
single
2007?
relationship except
Isn't
connecting to
China like
Aragi.
2006?
Maybe.
I think it's early 2000s.
I'll find it. Oh, 2005 actually.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
sorry,
Okay, so you're right.
Atomsk, or however you say it, Atom 5K.
Atomic.
Atomic?
The guy from Fully Cooley?
Oh, okay. Oh no,
At
guys,
Musk?
guys commenting.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce the username
Steins
there, but
Gate
it looks
just
like Atomic
didn't-
to me.
Steins Gate was hard for me. I want to finish it someday, but I had a hard
I
time
love
getting into
Steins
it.
Gate.
I'll take you through Steins Gate, Green. Like I will clear every
One of
evening.
the few anime that one of the few anime that I watched and then like a week later just rewatched because I was still thinking about it.
Yeah,
as like
I
I was
did it-
15.
I
Yeah.
did it the hardcore way, and I played the visual novel first, and then watched the anime.
I knew you fucking would.
It was also the first visual novel I ever read. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll give the visual novel credit. It has a unique style. It looks like paintings and stuff.
yeah,
I like the art. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, unfortunately, everything else in their Science Adventure series is garbage.
Yeah.
So it's like the only good thing
Agreed.
they've ever done.
Hey, Molly.
So it's kind of a one-hit wonder. Like Science Gate Zero, garbage. Don't watch it.
Way
Yeah,
ahead
do
of
not
ya.
watch it. I agree.
Yeah,
I do not know what I've seen clips of the anime in the top middle, and I have no idea what the bottom
That
right
is-
is.
Okay, the top middle's Yu Yushiki, which is just a slice of life comedy.
Yeah,
About
this
a
is one
trio
of those.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a trio of friends in school. It was so easy for me to superimpose myself and 2 friends over the main cast that it was like this was made specifically for me to enjoy this.
I
So-
feel like that's how most people enjoy those types of shows.
Yeah.
Is like, I mean, even Redacted was like, all the K-On! Girls are each one of us.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, we
what's
did
the
that
bottom
once
right?
with the Seventh
That one's
Seal. which-
Machikado Mazoku, or it's the localized name is the Demon Girl Next Door. I think the
Okay.
literal translation is like Corner Street Demon or something like that, which I like better than the
Is
translated
this like
title.
the
But it's
devil is a part-timer?
Yeah, in a way, it's like the main character's one day wakes up and finds out she actually has demon powers, and she's supposed to restore the power.
Oh, this
of
is
her
called
ancient-
Haruhi. I've watched this.
Yeah. No, it's not Haruhi. But it's kind of like a reverse of the idea, in that she just progresses the story by being nice to people. Instead
This looks
of
like the most
demonic.
recent show on here.
Probably.
Speaking of recency, John, I'm going to judge you slightly here.
Okay.
When I
mean,
look at this, this is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a mistake. It's something I think that will be corrected, though. When I look at this, I kind of get the impression John has seen 5 good shows, and then he just stuffed the remainder with like lesbian bullshit.
Ooh.
Not.
I'm gonna say he
That's-
watched 7 good shows and,
Okay.
and filled the rest
Okay.
with lesbians.
I just have a
slight.
slight suspicion John was like, "Fuck, I don't have enough shows," and he just kind of tossed a few of these in here. If I'm wrong, tell me.
I would say if I'm trying to judge the kind of show you like, I think you like cute talky shows, very talky shows. Because there's a
Talkie,
lot
is that
of
what you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of dialogue across
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
Across
well,
this.
Monogatari is like dialogue series.
Monogatari, Steins Gate is very heavy on it, and even Toradora is pretty chatty. And Hidamari sketch is just them talking about it.
It's just gags about art, basically, and Miyako being a spaz.
Like the main Kill la Kill and Shana are the big action things here.
I mean, Steins Gate's still a thriller. It
is a thriller, but most of
takes
it
a while
takes
to
place in rooms with people talking to each other.
Yes,
and then running across
that's true.
the street. Yeah.
There's a little bit of the running, but
No, I love the dialogue, so I'm like, hell yeah, whenever anyone's chatting to fucking Okabe.
Yeah, it actually slants very far away from action when you think about it, because there's a couple.
yeah, that surprised me too. But when I started thinking about
Konosuba has a
shows that
bit.
I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
And I
of
guess
comedy and
Monogatari has like
relationship shows.
2% action, technically. Yeah.
The action in Monogatari is
Yeah.
good. It's just very few and far between.
It is good. It's just very sparse. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
when the animators get like itchy and they're like, I want to animate someone flying across a room or
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pages
Punching
are
off the wall.
getting flung across the room by his intestines.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that so much. That's a great track.
I
too.
love every bit of Araki getting fucking kicked in the head
Yeah.
and blown
Karen-
to smithereens.
Karen
Just
stomping his
it's
ass
like the
through
end
that
of every
overpass.
arc almost is just him getting the shit kicked out of him
Yeah.
by the new characters.
Wasn't it you or was it Green who criticized Kagenui for doing exactly that? Like a few days ago.
I didn't criticize her for it. I just said that's all she does. I want her to to chat up the character for episode upon episode and then kick them in the head.
Yeah.
I don't want her to just be like, "Hey, if you don't do this, I'm gonna kick you in the head later," and then shows up many episodes later and says, "I'm gonna kick you in the head now."
Yeah. With John's 3x3 here, I don't. This sounds like an insult. I have an extreme suspicion that like 18 months from now, several of these are going to be different, better shows.
I also felt that, but
That's
not
possible.
necessarily better, but
That's
different.
not-
I
that's
feel
not
like John
mean.
might cycle through his favorite. They're not as sedimentized as ours, probably.
Yeah, this does look like intermediate. Like I've only seen some of the shows that are going to be my favorites.
yeah, but that's also just objectively true, right?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
have seen more anime
exactly.
than me, so
His JRPG.
this
That's
is
why I
more
asked him
normie
for
adjacent than everyone else's list is probably
I-
going to be.
JRPGs first because I
probably.
was like, he's much more has much more deeper knowledge in that.
Yeah,
area,
and actually, we
you
could
know?
talk about that one too. That'd be fun to talk
We
about.
could
if
talk
you-
about that. Yeah,
If you have it on hand, sure,
I
or
feel
you
like-
could throw it together real quick.
I feel like you talking about JRPGs is gonna be like me when I get to my albums bit. It's like we have very in-depth knowledge, but no one knows what the fuck
Yeah,
I'm talking
here's
about.
an
I'm just gonna,
RPG one
I'm
again.
just gonna skip over it. I'm gonna be like, this is cool. This is cool.
And I would have the exact same reaction to both, where I just don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah, you're like, uh-huh.
Yeah, I couldn't even do albums because I didn't know, enough.
I know. I'm not a beginner in terms of JRPGs. I've played the classics, so I can talk about some of these. Should we move to that, or do you want to say anything more about?
Yeah, any
the
other
anime?
questions or insults you want to hurl at me for being
I
not based?
I will give you
For
the
liking
opportunity,
Slice of Life
John.
too
I
much?
nearly shot White Monster out of my fucking nose.
Is that what they're calling it now? John, did you have any near misses you'd like to say real quick? Any that you almost?
Oh yeah,
put
that's a good
in?
question. What almost made it? Yeah.
Oh, let me think, because I know I replaced a couple, but I'm trying to remember what they were.
Yeah, it's fine then.
But it's not coming to me right now. I might remember later, and I'll interject if I feel like
I
it's
always
relevant.
I like the idea of having like the 3x3 and then at the bottom right there's a little square popping out the side.
Yeah, the
like,
honorable
like,
mention.
clinging on. Yeah, I like
yeah.
it's like half transparent faded.
Yeah, that just turns into the top half of my anime list.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
well-
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
know.
Mine
I
was
did-
really
I did
really
actually-
hard.
Now
Yeah.
that you mentioned that, I almost put Azumanga Daioh on there,
Good
but
choice.
and
it falls in line with the rest of your picks.
yeah, and
But
it falls right in with the slice of life comedy thing. But I
I'm
just
glad you
realized
didn't
that-
switch anything else though. Yeah, because then you'd have like 3 like slice of lifey schoolgirls talk shows. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and Toradora's cutting it close.
But Toradora is cutting it close. I was just gonna say
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's
even
not-
by
it's not
extension,
as chill,
Monogatari is kind of cutting it close, but not really. It's an enigma. It's its own thing.
Shall we?
cannot
Shall we?
classify
Shall we scrutinize this JRPG list real fast?
I mean, we could wait. Why don't we save that till we're done with everyone's
Okay.
anime?
Okay.
Why
We'll
don't we-
save
And
it
then
then.
that way,
That's a good
that way
idea.
everyone's had a chance to
Yeah.
talk.
Why don't we
That's
start
good.
with anime?
Let's go
then
round
we can...
robin by category. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because I think
fuck.
Michi, you and I both had a album one, right? So we could both
Yes.
do that.
And Jaws did too.
And
Cool.
yeah,
Jaws
John's
had
made
that
one as
album.
well. So we have plenty that we could talk about for a bit.
okay.
But I like the
okay,
idea of
let's
keeping
go-
it on categories.
go
Now
anime.
now
Yeah,
we can
let's
have
go-
the less normie people.
You're right. You're
Michi,
right.
Your,
Michi,
your
please drop
better
your
anime taste.
please drop
You
your
want mine?
thing.
Okay.
Well, just get it all in one
Okay.
place so it's easy. I'll bring up Jaws' real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And I guess
haven't put.
Do,
I
do,
did
do.
debate which
I haven't put
trigger
titles
anime
on it.
to put on mine. Because I like Little Witch Academia a lot better, but I feel like Kill la
Mhm.
Kill just holds up better
Little Witch
consistently
Academia
across the whole
fucking
thing.
sucks. Why would you say that right as we're
No,
letting you go?
that's-
Okay, enough of this. We're all talking about the OVA. No one's talking about the anime.
I mean, the
Okay,
series
fine.
in general has some really good animated moments. It just
It
isn't
does.
nearly as consistent as
Yeah.
Kill la
So
Kill
it has
or
good. It has good characters and
the other way.
shitty writing. That's just it. Okay, Jaws, are you there?
Okay, judge. Oh, which one are we doing?
Jaws's.
Me or Jaws first?
Did you ask if I was there?
Yeah, or do you
Yeah.
see the screen? Whatever. We
I do
have
see
your.
the screen.
We're
but-
looking at your anime list. In the top left, you have some kind of abstract shape.
in the
Or
top.
like a-
in the top
Yes,
left.
I
Yeah,
wondered
that's-
about that. What soundtrack
Yeah.
is that?
that is the soundtrack for Sagrada Reset, which I talked about in the Hidden Gems episode we did.
What is it called?
Sagrada
Sagrada.
Reset.
Sagurata. I don't even know this.
Sagrada. I think.
Were you present during the Hidden Gem episode?
I was not.
or
I was in
Okay,
England.
okay, then it was just John, me, Green, and
Yes.
later RA. Okay.
Yeah, it was one half
Okay, this
his
looks
idea,
like
then he wasn't there.
A show.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
like.
sorry, I went
I
on
like
holidays.
We could always do it again because Hidden Gems is
yeah,
such a
there's more
repeatable
hidden
topic.
gems. Yeah,
That's fun. Okay. We have.
I'll bring a 3x3 of just hidden gems.
Actually, that's a really good idea, Michi. We should do 3x3 for Hidden Gems.
We will. We will.
That's a good one.
Okay, let's
Uh,
discuss
But
Jaws.
yeah,
Jaws
anyway,
is
sorry,
here.
Jaws.
I
didn't mean
think
to-
Jaws is
feel like
very
I'm-
strong in general.
I'm
It also
sure
shows a lot of talky shows. Like,
Lots of
No.
talking, but
yeah.
some of my favorite talks though in anime.
Okay.
Green,
I was
you have
just
to
looking
take
at
the reins here.
I was looking at the stream a little bit. It said I was having some hiccups, but it seems
Okay.
guys. Hey, Muli and or anyone who's there, feel free to let me know how bad the quality is. I'm allegedly maybe getting new internet soon, but I'm not sure. Have you guys seen the One Piece? I watched the first 2 episodes. I had complex feelings, and then when I got to episode 3 and 4, I was just like, I can't watch this. It's just not. It just hurts too much. I'm not doing this.
Michi refuses to watch because I'm an actual
Because
One
Michi
Piece
knows
fan.
better. Yeah.
I'm an actual One Piece manga.
It's the same reason I
to-
didn't
up
watch
to- up
Dragon
to
Ball
dater.
Evolution.
Yeah,
I
It
couldn't bear
wasn't-
to see it bastardized.
It wasn't the disaster it could have been. I think some people probably, I don't know, kids might like it, or people who
Yeah,
like that sort of
my-
thing.
My favorite comment that I've seen about it, and Michi, don't take offense to this, is somebody said it's not bad because it's a faithful, or it's not going to be bad because it's a live adaptation by Netflix.
Bad
it's going to be
because
bad
it's
because
faithful?
it's going to be bad because.
no,
it's
I
One
agree.
Piece.
I agree. I mean, I disagree with the concept of trying to adapt stuff that is made in a certain medium to
Yeah.
you know to unsuitable media in general.
Yeah, well, like even if there's those
the-
clips going around recent transformation or whatever, where he basically turns
Yeah.
into a fucking Looney Tune.
if the point of
you could not
illustration,
do that in
Yeah, if the point of visual
Wild
art, if some of the one of the strengths of visual art is to show stuff that is not possible or not translatable to like realistic, real life setting, then trying to adapt it into a real life setting is a folly. And the results speak for themselves usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Most of the
Also,
time.
we kind of derailed Jaws.
Yeah,
so-
let's talk
Well,
about.
I wasn't
Sorry.
even talking.
Sorry,
I will say
Jaws.
immediately, Jaws has 3 shows that were almost on that are like on the periphery of my 3x3. Lane, Haibane Renbei, and Madoka Magica are all superb shows.
Madoka is excellent, and I have seen it.
I will corroborate
And I'm a big fan
Madoka.
of Yoshitoshi Abe shows like Lane and.
I was
and
The
Haibane.
extremely
first-
close to putting
the
Madoka
first
in mine.
seven shows, anime on this are like pretty solid, and
Locked in there.
once I get to the number 8, I have to think like what I would there. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what it is at the moment, I guess.
Also, Tatami Galaxy, which I'm
Oh,
happy
yes.
to see represented.
It was the first 10 out of 10 anime.
I watched it. I think I was a bit too young. I watched it like as a 15-year-old before going to university, and I would like to rewatch it again. I still liked it, but it was not like a favorite of mine. I wasn't in love with it.
So you've
Great
only
opening.
seen it once. I guess, then?
Yes, as a teenager, 10 years ago. Yeah.
I think this was one of the animes that I binged in a single day.
Oh,
I
wow.
really need to watch The Night is Young, Walk On
yeah.
Girl. Everyone says it's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Same. I like the clip of them doing the dance. I couldn't watch Tatami Galaxy. They talk too fast for me. It broke my brain.
It's not that hard. Like, it takes one episode for me to get used to it.
Okay, I'm happy for you. I couldn't handle it. Maybe if I try again and
people
watch it harder.
People lobby that at Monogatari too, though. Like the first talk scene between Araragi and Senjo Gahara. It's just
that scene made the show for me, because that's like episode 3 by the time.
I know.
And I was
that's the filter, though.
Yeah,
right?
as soon as that happened, it was like, this is one of the greatest things I have ever watched, and they're having a fucking conversation.
I thought the same thing as a teenager. I was like, anime dialogue cannot be stilted. I mean, props must be given to whoever translates Nishio scene.
Yeah.
Does a really good job.
Yeah.
For both the anime and books.
It helps that in Mono, a lot of times they're talking about just nonsense, or it's a fun conversation, but it's not like you're missing anything that important. No.
Yeah, like
But that's normal conversations too, right? So that's what
I
makes
feel
it
like
so
they
appealing.
also back and forth fire like short sentences usually. Like they'll reply to something with like sometimes even one word, just a question mark at the end of it.
A lot
like
of
that's the
Monogatari conversations are structured like a shonen battle that's a conversation.
Yeah, it reminds me of
they're throwing conversation energy blasts with their sentences.
It's a bit like a Homestuck text log conversation. Like it just snaps back and forth like a short.
That's why. That's also why the one Monogatari video game is like a rhythm talking battle game.
I did not know that.
I haven't played it. I think there's a fan patch for it now, a translation patch, but it's a PSP game, and it's like a rhythm not rap battle, but it's like a rhythm / talk battle game, and I don't know. It's weird.
And of course, Monogatari is on Jaws list too. It was one of those anime that I knew would appear in multiple people's. Because we talk about Monogatari almost every day.
It's too good.
If it had been 12, I would have had it, but I didn't have room for it. I'm interested to see both Lane and Haibane Renmei.
Me too. I didn't put on mine either.
Ridwan said that
Haibane
was a letdown. I hope not.
Really? I do not think Haibane is a letdown at all.
It keeps warning me that there's.
Haibane is.
Please hold on, John.
Okay,
no,
okay.
but it keeps.
Please hold.
It keeps giving me warnings that there are issues, or saying it's having issues, but then reconnects.
Okay, I just had to refresh it on my end.
Okay,
it's still working.
It tells me the stream is there. I see it, but it keeps warning me there's issues.
Okay, no, it just acted like it was over when for me.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure it was still running for you. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Well, no, fucking tell me if that's happening.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that Haibane Renmei is one of the most like blissful watch experiences you can have.
And which one is it on the chart?
That's bottom left.
It's the angel.
It's it's like these angel girls. Yeah. Where you have the sublime music helps, of course, but it's like the perfect mix of like incredibly like enjoyable and relaxing and just snug, and also very melancholic and sad. And
the first.
Even the color temperature of everything is it all flows so well together. It's such a nice show to just sit down and appreciate all in a row.
I mean, the first half is mostly relaxing, although that's also not 100%.
Yeah, stuff gets dark.
Yeah, and then it gets just increasingly dark in the second
It's like
half.
Alien 9.
Yeah, like a little bit, but not as abstract.
Not as abstract.
Yeah. But still, like one of the things is it does never fully explain what's going on, and it's very symbolic in a sense.
It's symbolic, I was gonna say, yeah. It's like metaphorical.
Yeah, that's what I
A
meant.
lot of it. Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
good show.
I usually describe this as like the perfect winter anime, like not Halloween.
Oh yeah, or
Christmas
fall
anime.
too. Yeah. Great choice.
And what's the middle left one?
Middle left is Oregairu.
Yeah, that's the one with the guy with the squinty eyes.
Yeah,
Never watched it.
I watched it like at the
It's
exact
actually
perfect-
good.
for me, yeah, it's my number 3.
4.
I watched it at exactly on the list it's 4, but I mean in the
How do-
3x3 it's 4, but on my actual list it's number 3. I watched it at exactly the right time in my life. Like I only needed to hear like the first sentence or so to know, oh yeah, I'm going to love this. Yeah, and I just have a very personal connection to both the first season and especially the second season. And
This is
I don't know, it took
Jaws'
like
rom-com.
5 years.
Yeah. This
Well,
is your
it's-
rom-com pick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Instead
technically,
of
but
Toradora, we
but
have this.
I wouldn't even. I mean, you could describe it as a rom-com, but that's not really what it is.
Look at the picture, Jaws.
Yeah, but if you watch it, you will see what I mean. Like the romance parts only come in gradually.
Okay.
Um,
Elaine, I will say, is a great show, and part of my enjoyment of it is so having fun seeing all the stuff that it like so accurately mirrors about today.
yeah.
Like there are so many scenes that where you're like, oh, this is just Discord, or this is 4chan, this is Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lane
that's another one I still need to
needs
watch.
its own category because I don't 100% watch Lane like for entertainment. It's like something else. You know, it's yeah.
It's a very odd experience, a very unique experience.
Yeah,
of watching,
it's more
where
like
you're just...
like taking psychedelics. It's an
think
experience.
it's similar to I think it's probably most similar, not to Haibane Renmei, but kind of to Evangelion, where there's lots of like just cuts to the sky and the sound of birds and weird like psycho scenes.
It has like
it's a
I've
foreboding
seen,
show.
I have seen the Boogie Pop Phantom, and I'm not sure which one, either Lane or Boogie Pop Phantom, has the best sound design in anime. I can't really
they're both
decide.
really good.
They are fantastic in their sound.
Yeah. Just the buzzing of like the PCs droning in the background and
I changed the bitrate and I'm hoping that helps. I'm not sure though. The stream's bitrate is lower than recommended. Shut the fuck up, YouTube. It's not all about you. Because we don't really need good video, and hopefully that takes some load off the
take
audio.
that, Susan.
Yeah, take that,
Is
Susan.
she still the CEO?
I don't know. I used to say she was in Al Qaeda. That was a fun thing I used to do.
Well, that won't get you demonetized, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, shit, fuck. Susan is in
Stream is offline instantly.
Marines. Haibane Renmei and Lane
The
together.
Submarines. Oh.
It is interesting that the third one, Technolize, is not there, especially knowing that someone's 9x9 is probably just 9
You
images.
forgot the fourth
Technolize.
one. What's it called? The one with the alien girl.
Nia Under 7.
Yeah, Under 7. Yeah.
I tried to watch that, but I didn't. like
Yeah,
it.
me
I
too.
watched, like,
It didn't click with me
watched,
either.
like, I watched like 3 episodes or something and didn't
That's
like
before they hit their stride, I think.
it.
It's no
I
Alien
like
9.
Technolize less.
No, not Alien
No.
9.
I like Technolize less than Haibane Renmei and Lane, but I
also
rewatched it
don't
like I'm
Technolize
not
as much.
last year or the year before last year, and I actually realized it has my favorite visual directing in anime. Like, so that was nice to rediscover.
My favorite visual directing is Angel's Egg.
So I have to see it, but I'm pretty sure I will like that based on everything I've seen from it.
It does hurt to see Haibane Renmei here because it's at the top of the list of shows that I really, really want to like but just can't seem to.
I don't think you'll like it very much, Green, to be honest with you.
I mean, I've tried.
Like, Yeah, I've tried to
Oh, did you try?
describe
Okay.
it to.
I didn't know if you had even watched it.
I've watched the
to
first 2
Green
episodes like
as
4 times.
yeah, like I tried to describe it to him as
Sometimes you
basically
just don't like
watching
stuff.
it like Kino no Tabi, because they are very similar
yeah,
in their
it is,
in the
yeah.
way they do things.
Not dissimilar either to Yokohama Shopping log or mall. You guys know what I'm talking about? The robot girl with the green hair on the island.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know
that's
her.
I've not
Yeah.
seen it.
That's also a fun. I like that OVA a lot. There, it looks just really nice.
And I just like Abe's character
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite
and
illustrators.
and the colors.
Yeah, when I heard
I
about
still
Haibane
follow them on
Renmei,
YouTube.
when I heard about Renmei, I heard the quote, "To know your sin is to have no sin." And that was
Yeah.
such a good quote. It made me want to watch the fucking show, and I just can't. I need to just watch
I
the
love
scene where that
how-
happens, I guess.
I love
It's
just the
close to
visual
the
of the angel girl smoking a cigarette is just like
Yeah, it's like the Heaven and Hell album
and I
cover.
love
The angel
yeah
smoking
and,
and playing cards.
and I love so much that the rings are like these physical things that they
Objects.
forge and they put them they kind of balance or they fall off at
Yeah,
times.
like
It's great.
golden donuts
Yeah,
or
yeah.
bagels rather. Bagels. They have like this thing where they transport it. with.
Madoka is just a show that everyone who watches it likes, I think.
I'm not sure if
I don't
everyone
know.
likes.
If you don't like
Maybe
Madoka,
people
you're
bounced
probably
off
just
of it right at the start, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. If you stick around through
If
the
you
first
stick
couple
around through it,
episodes,
yeah,
and you haven't
exactly.
already been filtered out, you're gonna like it.
I mean, if you don't like
And-
Madoka, you're just a bad person.
You're
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
I
And
will say though, I have not watched any of the Madoka movies, and everyone gives me shit for it.
You don't
When I
need to
watched the
watch them.
show, the movies weren't actually out. Is the thing, as opposed to watching the show later after it's.
I
Not.
mean, there's only one
going on
movie
a bit.
that really matters. I think the other ones
Is it
are just
Rebellion?
Yeah,
Yes.
because the other ones are just a retelling of the show, if I'm
I
correct.
didn't know that. Okay, so it's like Made in Abyss, where it's like summary movies. Yeah, okay.
They did
I was
some
not aware of
stuff
that.
where they did throw in some fan servicey things like having an extended fight where mommy gets to
Yeah,
actually fight and not die immediately.
not just get her head bit off.
I think she has a
Spoilers.
fight I think she has a fight with Hamura, and that was something that fans had been wanting for a while.
Okay.
So they put some stuff in, but it wasn't great. Rebellion,
But that makes
it's not
it
a
like
bad movie, but it's
hard to
not-
choose. Where it's like where it's like
The fight,
if I was just gonna say that makes it hard to choose between like if you're a new person, like should I watch the summary movies or the
Well,
show? It's like the
no,
show has
look,
more
uh,
scenes.
yeah, the show.
yeah, but,
But-
Green, I think Green messed something up.
as
The fight
usual.
between Mami and Homura is in the Rebellion movie.
Oh,
Is it?
never
Okay.
mind then. Okay.
So I can just skip to Rebellion. I
Yes.
never
Yeah.
knew this. I always thought everyone said Rebellion was great, and I was like, well, I don't want to watch like 3 movies in a row right now. Like I never felt like I can just go watch Rebellion. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, just watch
10
Rebellion.
years after watching the show. I
I
have
will
seen
s-
the show a few times, so I remember it pretty well.
I will say Rebellion is not necessary at all, but it's a perfectly fun movie if you want more.
Well, it's not necessary, but it like my
Well,
problem with
We can
Madoka
see
was
it's on
that I
Jaws
did not
3x3.
that I did not initially like the ending to Madoka because of my the
I
state
don't
of
get it,
mind I
man.
was in when I watched it. And since then I've never rewatched the last episode. I finally have to rewatch the whole thing again because it's short and it should be easy to do, but I just haven't. I love the ending to
I will say, Jaws, your 3x3s will be faster to talk through because unlike us, you were just like, what are my favorites and put them on there. And so you have a lot of like repetition. Like you have Ava and End of Ava, you have Madoka and Madoka Magica, you have a bunch of Garden of Sinners, you have a bunch of Fate.
yeah.
So this will be easier to go through because you already
Yeah.
said what you had to say about Madoka when we get to Rebellion, basically.
Yeah, but I'm not going to stick around for
Okay, that's fine.
that long.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
okay, we can move on to either another person or
Yeah, I'd say
unless you have
Well,
something
I
more
think
to
we
We
should
just
do
didn't
Nishi.
mention Penguin Drum.
Oh yeah,
yeah, okay.
it's cool that's there. It's a nice addition. I don't have anything else to say.
Get some Koltar of the Deeper's representation in here. Hell yeah.
Penguin
Okay,
Drum
cool.
is just great.
And it does
Okay.
seem that the stream is working. Lowering my video quality helped. So Okay.
Yay.
Me and RA and Green watched the ED when we were doing one of our crazed opening ED runs, and we were just like, damn, they do not give a fuck. They're just gonna fan service the hell out of this.
Yeah, Penguin Drum shocked me with
So
how
many ass shots.
with how
Yeah.
sexual it was. Like they don't
It's
actually
super
show
sexy,
they
yeah.
don't actually
It's
show
a
that
tasteful
much.
sexiness,
But it's
though.
so they don't even show anything. It's just so dripping with eroticism. They don't even have to have fan service. Like just the way the
Leotards
characters
and bloomers
move.
are like cheating because
Well,
they're
yeah.
basically panties, but they're not. So you can get away with lots of stuff.
You know the animation sequence, the repeating one where she's walking down the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one where
Yeah.
the version of that where they subvert it, and the brown-haired girl, I forget her name, is some with an R.
She tumbles down the stairs
Bingo,
and says,
Ringo
"Help! I
Apple."
can't
Where-
get up."
Where she falls down, catches herself with her arms and legs, and pulls herself out. Her climbing up out of a pit is like more sexual than most actual like edgy scenes.
Yeah.
It's the fucking
the
craziest
toothbrush
thing.
scene.
Yeah, exactly. It's ascended. Okay.
She's
alright.
also one of the best female characters. Like,
Oh,
very
yeah.
high up.
She's
female
just
character
adorable.
list.
I like her. Okay, open in browser and come on. Okay. This
Is it my turn?
yep, we got
This
you.
looks-
Oh, hey, there's also a bit of
I'm
repetition with John.
With John? Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
Kill la
both
Kill.
have
And,
Kill la
and with Jaws, we both have Evangelion.
Yeah, and all three of
Yeah,
us. all
Actually,
three
I
of
will
us-
say Made in
yeah.
Abyss is another one that might have made it to
Oh
my
yeah,
list at some point.
that was
Made in
one of mine
Abyss
as
is
well.
my favorite, one of my favorite things. So I just put it up there. Yeah, I haven't even watched season 2, and I don't care. I've
Oh,
been saving it to watch with my girlfriend. Just season 1 and the movie is already my favorite thing. So
I read the manga, and that part of the manga is kind of slow, especially reading it
I
week
could
to
not
week.
believe
or month
when
to
the
month,
manga
actually.
came out and then the anime. I got into the manga a bit, but I was like slowly going through it, and then the anime dropped. Then I was like, someone tailor made something that has like it was like a fucking bullet made specially for my brain to just be
Yeah.
like the designs, the world building, the characters, the fucking tone of it, the music. I was just like, oh, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I'd been an anime fan for so long. Unlike John or Green, I'm not a late anime guy. I'm a fucking, since I was a kid, constant anime watcher. And I didn't think like in my adulthood I would really like something would appear that would fucking stonk me, but it did.
Stonk you?
I mean yes,
Okay.
I can make up words.
It was like the stonk market. I will say Michi's 3x3 is impressive. You can tell this is the 3x3 of a masterful storied anime fan.
Thank you.
Partially due to the overlap with mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Michi share a decent amount of taste. There's 3 on here that
Yeah.
I did have, and then there are 3 more.
I
that
feel like the other ones
very,
were close to
very
being on
nearly
yours.
came. Yeah, that barely edged out. Like Shiki, I literally had it on, then deleted it to make room for something else because I decided, I already have enough thrillers. I don't need Shiki.
And that's
I will
like
say-
the most surprising one on here.
Yeah, Shiki was like one of the ones where it could have been other shows, you know? Like it's a 9 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 for me. But I had like loads of 9s out of 10s. Like Kaiji and Shiki are 9s out of 10s, and then the rest I'm safe saying it's a 10 out of 10. But yeah, it could have been lots of stuff. I could have put, I don't know, fucking a Space Dandy, Mob Psycho. I feel like there's a lot of stuff.
Also,
my goodness.
Shiki, you don't really have any horror on here other than Shiki. You have
Yeah,
kind of thrillers and
I
horror
thought it was
elements.
Like we've said, mine is more supposed to be like general rounding of my tastes rather than just be like I didn't put Gurren Lagann on here even though it's a 10. I put 9s here instead because I was like I already have Kill la Kill. That kind of, it's safe to assume I like Gurren Lagann, and they kind of are the same show, so I don't want to waste space.
Right.
But I said most of the stuff I was going to say about Made in Abyss in our Made in Abyss podcast. But yeah, generally this is like my fucking it's just
Platonic
perfect.
form.
Like, yeah, my idea of what
Yeah.
anime can be like. It's an adventure series with a cool, amazing world you couldn't see anywhere else. The stuff that happens in it, you can't see anywhere else either. Basically, like it's perfectly anime, and it's my favorite of those. So, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's
Then
a good.
I'm
Hunter x Hunter.
recommending-
Yeah.
I'm recommending the Hoseki no Kuni manga to you again. I think you will love that.
I think I will like it. I'm not. I appreciate how like unique the art style is. I will say it's
Yeah.
not like perfectly suited to me because the faces look a bit goofy. It's a bit amateurish in many aspects, but the guy clearly has like really unique personal language, which I appreciate more than skill.
I looked at it.
But if he had both, I would fly into it really fast. If he was like incredibly skilled and incredibly unique style, I would just whoa.
Yeah, the stories and the characters and stuff is
That I know nothing
for
about.
me that's more
just
important than
looking
the
at
art
the
style. But I guess that for
Yeah.
you the art style is of,
That's
greater
paramount
importance.
to me, yeah. But I will watch something with like a art style I'm not crazy about, like I don't know, Mob Psych or Kaiji. I love it how stylized it is, but it's not like my favorite kind of art. But I love the
I would
story.
say the manga is better than the anime.
Yeah.
adaptation.
I'd
something
rather read
visual.
the manga, and I'm gonna look into it for sure. It's on my list. Then Hunter x Hunter, of course, is just the best shonen, and there's no arguing this.
Like if I
Yeah.
would pick best shonen, it would be Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which you also have on here.
That's okay. That is like the thing is, Full Metal. I don't really count it as much as a shonen as other things. Like it's not as
Okay.
long as a Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece. It doesn't have the same structure as those where they have like many arcs. Hunter like Full Metal Alchemist kind of just has one arc, really. Like
Nah.
well, they're okay. If they are arcs, they're
I
very
think
short
that's fair.
compared to
Yeah.
other things. Like it's much more of a concise. It's like an action adventure story. Like it's kind of different. It's definitely a shonen, but it's not. Like Hunter x Hunter is what I choose for my like long form big arcs. You know, hundreds of characters focused on powers. Again, like Fullmetal Alchemist isn't that much about like cool powers and fighting. It's more about like outsmarting your enemy, and lots of characters just like win out of weird ways where it's the opponent they're fighting just gets shot or something or falls off a roof. Like it's not really
Nah.
about the fight scenes. It's not about power scales. It has very little in common with DBZ, which is the originator of the shonen as we know it, basically. So yeah, Hunter x Hunter. I mean, it's just one of those things where I can just talk about it endlessly. It's
We have.
it's got so many great scenes. It's just an amazing feat of taking a shonen and like
engineering.
subverting and clevering it up so much and making it fresh and yeah, and also the production and the anime is
Yeah,
just so
they
lavish.
really lucked out.
They
with
really-
the
yeah,
production.
yeah. This is just like something that you put on. You're like, can they keep it up for 150 episodes? Yes, they can.
I gotta say, my only real surprises here with you, and these are barely surprises. Kill la Kill and Shiki, I believe / knew that you like them. I don't know, I would have perceived them as like the level below the 3x3 where you like them, but they're not like top tier.
I love
Uh,
Kill la Kill. I don't speak about it a lot because it's like I don't think it's a show that you can talk about as much as just put it on and just be like just look at it and
Yeah.
and it kind of speaks for itself.
It
When you talk
exemplifies
about it, it's
things
kind
that
of
you can
dumb.
only do in anime
Yeah.
very well because Trigger's just good at
I just love the
doing
directing.
stuff on a shoestring budget.
I love the way I hate like people who talk about it and say like, oh, it has bad animation or it's like lazy.
Oh,
or,
man,
like, really not
calling
getting
it
the points.
Lazy when you're like, oh
infuriates
my
me.
god, they used
Yeah.
a 2-frame animation to
Yeah.
convey that. They're fucking
I-
geniuses.
I love the snap cuts. I love the 2D spinning effects. I love the fucking
Oh.
crowds coming in. I love the sound effects. I love how fucking hype everything
Yeah.
is. And
It's
I
like,
and
sure,
I
you can
and I
tell they did some of it because it was cheap, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it wasn't like it was soulless.
and it just has so much peak character designs like and the story is good. You could expect
it
this
is.
to not. Yeah, it has a great
It
story.
should be stupid, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
I
just
tried
this,
to watch it twice and made it like halfway, but I've never finished it.
to me,
It just
it's
isn't
just
for me.
I just run through it. Like I've seen this multiple times too. I've just shown it to
I've only
friends, and
seen
we
it
just had a
once, but-
great time. Like we were both like clenching our fists and shouting at the screen, like when fucking crazy shit is happening. Like
I would say Kill la Kill. I think
it's
it.
just a great time. It's so
think-
much fun.
I think the middle of Kill la Kill is probably the strongest bit. I understand struggling with
Yeah.
the early episodes because it's
This is my fun pick. See it that way, Green. Like this is my just. I don't want to say dumb fun because I hate the turn your brain off thing, because you don't turn your brain off because it has deep things and it has cool like dialogue and stuff. But it is
deep
my just
things,
outright like I'm
cool
just
dialogue and
smiling.
stuff.
No, it has like interesting
I'm not
relationships
even
going
arguing
on,
with
and
you. I like Kill la Kill too.
yeah.
But
But
it's
I
officially
understand
my
why
favorite ending.
it's not something
in
I
anime.
talk about. It's not something I like bring up a lot, but I've explained already why.
Yeah, the fucking final scene where she falls from space. That's one of my favorite scenes. Period. And I think it's my favorite final scene. Period.
Okay.
That is great. It's so extreme and it shows character so well.
yeah.
I love it.
The
other
and
surprise.
I think it's genuinely hilarious too. Like I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
it is.
I usually don't, like we were talking about before. There's lots of comedy anime where just I don't find them really that funny because the sense of humor is detached. Fucking the teacher just like sitting there while his zipper slowly unzips, like with a beam coming out of it is just like fucking so stupidly funny. And Ryuka's a great character too. She's much more complicated than just being like an angry delinquent type or a tsundere or whatever the fuck people want to call her. Like, yeah.
The
Senketsu is great.
The other surprise for me is Ranking of Kings, really just because it's so recent.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Ranking of Kings, and you know it. Like
I'm the one who fucking told you about it. I love it too.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. So why are you like that surprised?
No,
I don't
just
have
surprised that you
no
put
aversion
something
against
that recent on here.
my shows. Despite me having a lot of love for them, having rewatched most of these lots of times, and them being strong contenders, I have no issue with like slotting in new stuff. You know.
Well,
For me, favorites should be just an ongoing like conversation. I don't feel any of that need of being like, oh man, that's been in there so long, I have to keep it there forever. It's like, no, if I just found 9 new shows that were better than all of these, I would just be like, fuck it, just slot in these 9 new shows. Pretty much, like, I think you should just change your favorites at the drop of a hat, almost. Maybe give it a bit of time. It's been like
so rarely.
It's been like a
Like,
year. Yeah, it does happen rarely to me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Made in Abyss was a surprise, and then Ranking of Kings was another surprise. But I mean, what can I say? It's one of the best looking anime, like in my opinion, in just like terms of just like the animation, colors, and designs are so much fun. Constantly, I love again, it's a fantasy kingdom and the concept of it, and the characters are great. It does so much cool shit. I mean, I'm just in love with this anime, and I can't wait for season 2. Evangelion, I don't know if I need to talk anything about. I mean, everyone loves Evangelion. I will just say I watched it. I was a 16-year-old. Yes. I was Shinji, of course, but I've watched it many times over, and I now appreciate it for many other things than just that. It has some of the coolest scenes ever, cuts ever,
just as good.
music, yeah. And I am counting this represents End of Evangelion, which is my favorite movie, pretty much. I'm counting, although I do love the original run's ending too, but I like watching the whole show and then watching the End of Evangelion. I just get 2 good endings. And End of Evangelion's better. Yeah.
I rewatched both of it very recently, and I was actually surprised to see how little it actually explained. Like, I thought it did explain like the whole origin of the angels and stuff. It does not.
No,
I
lots
must
of that
have gotten
stuff.
that from supplemental.
Yeah, I got that stuff from the wiki, and I think that stuff comes from the manga. Yeah, I had no idea about Adam and fucking that we're an angel and shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because
But
I thought
I don't think
was
it
all
needs
in there
that.
and-
I don't think you need to know that stuff for it.
Yeah.
Like, to...
No, but it makes it better.
I have no
It makes
clue
it better,
what
I agree.
happens.
I agree, it
don't
makes
even
it better.
care. Shinji learned
Yeah,
to
you
believe
just-
in himself. That's all that
An
matters.
alien landed on Earth, and that's where humans come from.
I
That's
do
all you
like
need to
the
know.
theory.
That's what First Impact is.
I do like the theory that the end of the TV show, the episodes inside Shinji's, dream world, the theory that that is an expanded explanation of what happens when he's in the FLCL in the LCL world with in the End of Evangelion, where you can take the
I
two
think that's
episodes, compress it, and put it
yeah.
inside of End of Evangelion, and it's all there. It's just something that kind
I
of
think
happens
that's pretty
quickly in the
much
middle.
accepted as canon, I guess, by most people.
You're goddamn
Also,
right.
it just has some of the best. It still has some of the best directing
Yeah,
in anime.
Oh yeah.
It still has some of the best directing. Like, it's crazy.
and I
Um,
finally watched it on like a big, really good TV, and my god, the colors and everything. It
Oh
looks
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful.
I love that cell look. Like, that is something I kind of wish we'd still had. Some shows like Ranking of Kings, they make it work in Made in Abyss, but for the most part, modern anime, I just don't like the colors as much. Fucking speaking of recent editions, Ping Pong is something I watched very recently for the first time, and
Oh, okay.
and who knew? It was great, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite drawings in anime. I don't care if people think it's ugly. I mean, as someone who has a degree from art school, like, this is what good modern drawing actually looks like, which anime isn't usually somewhere you look for stuff like that. Like, actually expressionistic but still anatomically correct stuff that suits the animation perfectly. And it's a great
Yeah.
fucking story.
I
It's great.
I agree, Michi.
All the
Ping Pong
characters are
is-
the best character. I couldn't pick one as like my favorite character.
Kong.
There's so many
Kong is the
good
best
characters.
character. But I agree with you, Michi.
I don't know.
Ping
I
Pong
love the
is
dragon.
good.
I love
and I
the
don't-
two main characters.
Okay. No, Kong is
Okay.
fucking great, man. Kong is just
Do I need to pick your favorite character as my favorite character?
yes. Yeah, you do. Kong is just a guy. Kong is just an adult trying to live his life, and it's taken a rough turn, but he works hard. He doesn't fall into any of the sins the other people do. He doesn't get
The
obsessed
scene
with
where
work to where it
I-
ruins his family. He doesn't fucking.
Yeah.
He's not an arrogant upstart who's lazy and doesn't work hard. Kong is just a
Meanwhile,
good man in a bad
He's
situation.
kind of like the core of the show. I will say the scene that sold me completely was him losing against the dragon. The fucking with the drums and the visuals of the dragon picking up the ball and fucking wrecking his airplane is just. I was just like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible. And it's about ping pong.
And Kong recontextualizes the whole show because Kong's whole conflict
Yeah.
is the idea that the best player in Japan might stand a chance against, the 10th best player in China is inexcusable to him. So he just operates on such a high level that he casts a shadow over everyone and his shame at that.
And I love that in the ending he's one of the one he made it,
Yeah,
because
he's good. He's
he
on
just worked so hard.
it's on
Yeah,
the newspaper.
Yeah.
Kong is so
I'm happy.
fucking cool. When he beats the shit out of Smile early on. Or wait, no,
Yeah.
not Smile. Hoshino. Is it Hoshino?
yeah, Hoshino.
The dipshit. When he beats the fuck out of the arrogant, Achilles dipshit character early on, I love that so much because Kong is just taking his fucking rage out on someone who completely deserves it, and it is beautiful.
It's just one of those. I think a lot of stuff on here is just. I'm so happy that when stuff gets made and there's no hitches,
Mm-hmm.
Like, so much stuff could get adapted and be like, oh man, it just got adapted the wrong time, so it wasn't like animated that well. They didn't get the right soundtrack for this. No, so many things on my thing are like, they gave this the amount of respect and the perfect team to work on it.
One of the best
Like
OPs
Mob
too.
is like that, Made in Abyss is like that, Ranking of Kings, one of the best OPs. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter, we're saying it's a miracle that it got made so well, and Ping Pong is like one of those ultimate things where it's such a weird thing to get picked up to be animated, and they did it such a service. Hats off.
Hats off.
What else is
Imaginary hats.
Just 3 shows are left.
Well, we don't need to go
Cheeky-
through every
Cheeky
single one
is-
too. I mean,
Okay, fine.
No,
Well,
I
we
mean you
can skip to you
can.
then.
I'm just saying. We're not
I'll
reviewing.
just resume them really fast.
We're not reviewing
Cheeky,
every
like you
show
said, it's a horror
individually. We're
thing.
talking about what they represent in your 3x3.
Cheeky is such a unique experience that I couldn't not put it on there because I just think it's one of the most. It's one of those fun little hidden gems that a lot of people lose, and it deserves more respect. And everyone go watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fullmetal
that's-
Alchemist is like. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Shiki has very interesting visual directing that I have not seen well else
It
with like
does.
the X-ray stuff basically,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
which they use a lot.
So scary.
Yeah, it's a very interesting show. It's in some ways it's kind of more fun to talk about than to watch, but that's still because of the show. So I still give the show props for
Well,
being fun to talk about.
Shiki's almost a thought experiment on trying to get you to ask questions like, okay, how much fucked up shit would I really do?
FMA Brotherhood is just obviously a great thing. Like it's just that standard idea of just like I loved it when I first watched it. I still love it. It's literally perfect, but not in a way. It doesn't appeal to me personally as strongly as Made in Abyss, but it is literally perfect as in its flawless.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
the hero's journey done right.
yeah,
Like,
this is like a pure gem of anime. This is what anime can be. And then we have Kaiji for the fucking insane roller coaster ride, the outlandish look and fucking crazy soundtrack, and it all just works. It's like a kind of like a JoJo type of show where you're just like transfixed by it. And such a unique thing too. I love having like a survival game thing here on the list.
I find it funny that the Sava is on the
Yes,
on the
yes,
cover.
yes. I chose I didn't want it to have the same image as the soundtrack, even though I didn't put the soundtrack on here. But I had made a soundtrack 3x3, and so I thought, the anime one, I'm gonna put a cool one. And I like the old man in the background. I think he's a fun character. What's his name?
President.
Oh, I
The
forget his
president.
name.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
It's like Hoshi or
But anyway,
something
he's
like
great.
that.
I love that he fucks him just at the end of season 1 when he thinks he's starting to get too big for his britches. You know,
Kaiji fucks himself at the end of season 1. That's why it sucks.
but
it
but if
hurts.
it had been anyone else but the old man, they wouldn't have. It would have worked.
Yeah.
I've not finished season 2 yet. I'm in the process of watching it, but I kind of dislike that Kaiji has no real physical comeuppance. Like, I mean, he loses his fingers and they just get reattached. Like, I hate when stuff like that happens.
That's fair.
I agree.
That's fair.
Maziel's gonna get her arm cut off, and she's not getting that fucking thing back.
Spoiler.
Maziel?
Sorry. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Makes it interesting.
Yeah, can't wait for the prequel where it happens with her breasts. Kaiji, yeah, I mean, you are kind of in the slog of Kaiji Jaws, I'll warn you. I am
You
interested
are.
to see what you'll
Yeah.
say about the bog once you get past it.
I mean, it's I still like it. I'm not sure if I like this part more than stuff in season 1 or less, but in general, I still like
Hard
season
to
2 more,
say.
I think, so far.
The bog is unique in that it is the one challenge of Kaiji that gets like the most episodes dedicated to it. Up until then, every challenge Kaiji has faced is like takes like 6 or 7 episodes, maybe less. Then
Bog's
the bog
also
is like is long. I mean, it is a bog.
One thing I don't like about it is that it's a machine and not a person. Sure, there are people involved, and
Yeah. It kind
Yeah.
of they kind of do their best though to turn it into like a
Yeah.
kind of a living entity. It's like a dragon kind of.
I understand that
Okay.
too. I like that the bog exists, but I wouldn't want another bog or another arc resembling it
No,
because
yeah.
Kaiji starts
It's
with
okay as a one-off. Yeah.
because Kaiji starts with mind games, and that's the psychological aspect is usually the biggest part, although sometimes they add physical danger. The bog one, it almost ends up being more like a heist arc than an actual.
Yeah, it definitely is
yeah,
a
it
heist.
turns into a
It
heist.
feels like
sure,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it downplays the psychological elements, but yeah, no, it's still good.
It still
I
has
just
very
never
high
ever want to
moments.
watch it again.
Like, you know, whenever there's whenever there's a small victory against it, though, it is very fun.
Yeah,
You're just essentially watching the characters all bash their heads against a wall.
yeah.
Like they present you this object that is like, this is obviously rigged so hard, but the reward is so crazy that you might just want to be able to make a crack through this wall by hitting your head repeatedly against it.
and it does a really good job of setting up the final episode. There is that too.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the bog, it would be hard to believe the end of the season 2. Okay, are we done
I'm satisfied
with your...
with my discussion. Yeah.
Okay, let's get ready to excoriate someone.
Let's
Isn't
get
it your
ready
turn
for
now?
what- Yeah, I think that's what he's
You're next,
referring
right?
to.
Green.
Oh, okay.
Yep, shit's about to get real.
Green.
Shit's about
About to get green.
real.
Hey. Okay. Well,
Well,
I
We all
actually
know-
forgot
we all
some
knew.
of these.
we all knew Mushoku would be at the top.
Best Mushoku girl on the page.
How fucking dare
Wrong.
you?
Oh, have
Wrong.
you seen today's episode? Really
Wrong.
good.
I have not. Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
I've only watched season 1, so
I also thought it was kind of funny he picked that picture for Mushoku.
yeah. Why did you not put Eris there?
Because
Do you
I
think
was
she represents
because
the
I
core
was
of the
using
show
the
better?
stupid album site, and that's what auto loaded.
Oh, you could have Googled for that one. Come
I
on.
could. Well, that was before you had told me it has that
Oh, okay,
picture.
fair enough.
But, anyways.
Still a great character though.
Oh no, she's
Close
still a
second.
great girl. It's just
Yeah.
it doesn't compare to Eris at all.
No,
Like just not
Eris's
even.
are. I'm ashamed now I didn't put Eris in my characters, but she's number 10.
You should be. I put a
Okay, sorry.
I put a reference into.
I haven't
Eris
watched
into
season
one of-
2, so I don't know if her character changes in a way that I will appreciate that much.
Okay, well, oh no, season 2 is like it's even better. Like it just gets better and better and better.
I
It's just
don't believe
it's
you.
just
You
all
mean- you
Eris
mean
all the time.
Second half of season 1.
I
Season 2
choose
is
not
what's
to.
airing right now.
Oh, what he
I
means?
watched.
you mean the core?
I didn't even
right?
watch the second half of season 1.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
means we're talking about the core. Hey, yeah, he spoiled Meziel. He doesn't have to make it now. He can just go home.
You
He's
don't know
done.
which arm or how.
Oh, you
What
don't
the
know
fuck?
which arm? A witch arm, you
Get
say?
She's not a witch.
What is this, Bayonetta?
Yeah, exactly.
It's important how she loses it.
I'm sure
God
it is.
damn
But
It's
anyways,
just not happenstance.
anyways, yeah,
I've been saying I was gonna do that for years. God damn it.
kind of an own goal right there, but you do you. Mushoku, I have
is
to
that a-
have it. I don't even feel great about having Mushoku there because it's not the most. I don't even have that much to say
and
about
it's not
it.
finished. What if
Yeah.
it gets ruined?
It's still one of the best anime ever made, even if it's not as good as it was.
Okay.
What we
Okay,
got was
fair
so
enough.
fucking good. The new season isn't going amazing, but I'm just trying to believe they're saving their animation budget and pacing for the
It's
really
okay.
big moments later. Mushoku.
Also, third 3x3 to have Evangelion.
Mhm.
And we
It's
have
almost like
And
I
second
haven't
to have
seen it
Hunter
yet
x
or
Hunter.
something.
and Kaiji.
I mean, people who don't people who don't get or like Evangelion
And
are not
Kotor.
human. Are just subhumans.
or alternatively, some people just have good lives and don't need this shit.
No, wrong.
Okay,
Bad.
wrong. Show me a happy person who likes Eva outside the robot
Yeah.
fights.
Happy people are overrated.
But Mushoku Tensei, I do have to have it just because I feel like the show was made for me to a degree that is almost creepy.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
think you
almost,
feel like it how I feel about Made in Abyss.
that's probably true. And Made in Abyss is something that I really personally
Yeah,
like as
I was
well,
sure
and
it's in your
I
periphery,
feel
yeah.
it. I feel Made in Abyss a lot as well. Mushoku
I thought you
Tensei,
were
I almost
gonna
feel
put
like
Dawn of the Deep Soul in your movies at least.
Oh,
But no.
y-
You could have
I-
put it instead of End of Ava to
I
not be
could have.
redundant.
I could have. I think I was thinking because I think I was thinking because I didn't put Made in Abyss in. I don't really think of Dawn of the Deep Soul as a movie. I logically know it is. I just
I
have to be.
understand that.
I
yeah.
have to be reminded it is a movie.
No one who watched
I mean,
Dawn
it's
of
just
the
like
Deep Soul
Konosuba.
had not
Yeah.
watched the show, but
And
that's true for End of Eva too.
Well, and I did add.
So
I just wasn't thinking consistently. Just let's not fixate on it. Mushoku, it just has to be on because I feel like an alternative version of me from another parallel universe like wrote it and sent it to me. That's
how I feel about Made in Abyss. God damn it! Yeah.
that's how much I love Mushoku. Like it's not even that I love it. It's just mine. It's my fucking show. Obviously Evangelion. Obviously Kaiji. I made like the best Kaiji video years ago. Like I don't need to explain why Kaiji's awesome. I already did. I obviously love Hunter x Hunter. It's just incredible. There's nothing even specific. It's just every aspect of it is fucking incredible. The
Yeah,
other ones I had issues. The 4 in the middle that form a T are ones that just absolutely had to be on there, non-negotiable. It's just beyond it's just they have to be there. Like I
Mob
physically
Psycho
couldn't.
was really close on mine.
Why is Psycho there?
Mob Psycho, kind of the same thing. The
Just ignores it. Hold
Wait,
on.
what?
I didn't go there, Jaws. Yeah.
Why
what?
is Senko there? It's the
Okay,
One of
because
these things is not like the other. One of these things.
because I actually agonized.
because.
I actually agonized quite a bit because I'm trying to use this to actually show my tastes. It's like
I
why
understand. Yeah.
it's like why
Green, if it makes you feel any better, Simcoe's one I almost put on mine.
okay. It does make it feel a little better. The four in the middle that formed the upper T, those just had to be on. The others I was trying to showcase a little bit, like Satoshi Kon. I needed something by Kon.
Yeah, I'm glad there's Satoshi Kon representation. I second this. I haven't finished Paranoid Agent to my eternal shame, but I have watched most of his films, so I'm like, yeah.
Paranoia Agent, it's something where it could have been something else, but it's like, okay, a really heady, trippy, psychological thriller and something by Kon. Like, I'll just put that there and that's good. Mob, some of my favorite episodes of anime are Mob. Mob is not something I would ever make if I was a manga artist. But Mob, the sentiment and just the emotions and the sweetness of Mob, I just love it. It's just an incredible entity that exists in our world. I love Mob.
And we need Mob to be here to dunk on One Punch Man.
Exactly. Toradora, I needed a romance because I watched some romances, and there is a significant lack of romance in most of the shows that I have put on here.
And I'm happy you put Prison School here because we had not much comedies in our shared.
I actually agonized over
several
that
of mine were
because
but...
I needed some like
but they're not
goofy...
like they're like slice of life comedies. Yours,
okay,
John.
yeah.
This is like a fucking gag. Anime.
I needed an ecchi comedy. At first, I had interspecies reviewers, which it would be dishonest not to have one.
No, I agree. I just think it's funny.
I mean, you didn't put one. I wonder if that was honest.
I'm not into ecchi that much.
With interspecies reviewers, it definitely could have been on here. I also considered Monster Musume. That would be another good one to have here. I used to love Monster Musume a lot. I still do. But, I used to, too. Prison School, I just decided...
You need to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, I just decided Prison School because it hits all the boxes for what I was trying to represent here. It's an ecchi comedy. It's offensive. It's funny as shit. Prison School is like the only funny anime. Like, it's the only one.
I was repelled by the massive tits, but every clip I've seen is very funny. So I'm sure it's a great show.
And they don't all have massive tits. It's actually fucking hilarious.
That's true. The blonde girl doesn't have that big tits.
Yeah, Hana. When fucking Hana shows up, who ends up being the best character, the whole first several episodes, the main character is really disgusted and annoyed with his compatriots because they're getting off on the fact they're being beaten up by the big-titted, torturous, evil bimbo, the vice president. And they're just like acting out so they can get hit. They're enjoying every minute of it. They get mad when he sticks up for them and stops the beatings. Like, it's really annoying. But then Hana shows up and she's like a karate expert, but she wears fucking bloomers. She has small tits. She has conservative hair. She dresses all frumpy and she starts beating the shit out of them. But she's like, it's like they're being beaten up by a Mormon. They can't enjoy it. There's no sexuality in her beating, like with the vice president.
You're right.
And it drags them into despair. Yeah, it's so fucking great. The ending of the manga was sad. We don't need to get into it too much, but I did read the manga. It's almost legendarily bad. It has some really good stuff in it. The final stretch of the Prison School manga, contrary to popular belief, there is some really fucking awesome stuff in there. But the actual final arc got so out of control, and it just ended on such a fucking bitter note. It was horrible. If they had just give Hana a little more time, it still would have saved it to me. Like, it's just a fucking great... It's a great show. Like, everyone should go watch Prison School right now. It's the funniest fucking thing.
I stop running on because I can't hold my pee in any longer. I'll be right back.
Who are you, Hana from Prison School?
Oh, you got me.
It really is. It's so great. They drag out Hana pissing for like 5 episodes, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's a lot of pissing.
It's a horrible, horrible show for bad people. and I am a bad person. I love Frozen School so much. Yeah, it is a little sad that interspecies reviewers got cut. Because interspecies reviewers, I really do love it, and it definitely does represent my tastes to a significant degree. Man, it bums me out that no one I know gives a fuck about interspecies reviewers, because I could just talk about that show for fucking hours. I love it.
I know people that like it. I just haven't looked into it beyond knowing that it exists.
Watching it weekly when it was coming out was one of the best times of my life. It actually overlapped to some degree with my getting into psychedelics, and that was just like peak green. Like, I'm never reaching that high ever again. I'm getting into drugs, and interspecies
Literally.
reviewers is on the fucking hey. There was actually a kind of a weird back and forth with like Senko and Prison School were the two, and to some extent Toradora were the two iffy ones. So I was like thinking like, okay, if I put Monster Musume, that has a furry girl, but then it won't have the comedy. And if I put one, well, I don't need the other, and that's kind of why I ended up here. Senko.
I mean,
I just would be
I-
lying if I didn't
oh.
admit I had corny like Doga Kobo comfy fetish shows in my repertoire and stuff like that.
I like
It was
that
almost
being there.
Uzume.
I think it keeps your show. I think it keeps your 3x3 from looking too try-hardy.
Yeah, it's cool. Prison School helps too.
Like
It's not
if
a
you had just
dignified
picked
show.
stuff that is like everyone loves, it wouldn't have been as personal.
I am
I
kind
think
of
this is a strong 3x3 with the perfect mix of like just outright quality, but also very specific stuff.
yeah.
This is what I look for.
There were some ones that were I was sad they.
I've looked at a lot of 3x3s in my time.
Okay, thanks. There was a few I was sad didn't
There
make
used to
it.
be a subreddit for them.
Yeah. I almost added 3Gatsu, but it just wasn't quite there, or didn't really fill a niche that I needed.
I thought you were gonna put that on there. I'm surprised there wasn't.
It was on the short list. I mean, it could have almost been the romance, but that's downplayed in 3Gatsu. I don't know. It maybe
It
could have
been
taken
the
Senko's
sports
place.
anime, since there's no ping pong.
Oh, that's a good point.
I guess
too.
you could count Paranoia Agent as a sports thing.
Oh.
Shogi is
Smashing
Shogi
people
is
in the
kind
head
of a
with a bat.
Shogi is kind of a sport, Jaws. Like,
Yeah, sure, but Sangatsu does not feature shogi
that much shogi. Okay.
There is a
not
decent
aware.
amount of shogi. I guess it doesn't fix it on the mood
In the
so
second
much.
season, maybe, but in the first one, there is actually.
It also doesn't help
I mean,
that Ray
is
doesn't
there
really.
that much ping pong in ping pong?
There's a fair amount, and also
There's a fair
I
amount,
mean,
but it's not really about the
Ping
ping pong
pong-
usually.
ping pong is about competition though. Like the characters actually give a fuck.
Yes.
In 3Gatsu, the whole point of
That's
Ray's
true.
character is he doesn't actually give a shit about shogi. He only does it to, support the people around him and make his way in the world. He doesn't actually care.
Yeah, but it explores the lives of people who do care.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. But it's more shogi is more a pastime that a community is built around. In 3Gatsu, it's not about winning at shogi. Like the climax of 3Gatsu is not going to be Ray winning at fucking shogi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Should we go to?
Any-
Should we move on to anime OVAs and movies and start with Jaws?
No. Okay, so I'm actually getting surprisingly little shit for this. That's cool. Has anybody seen Fune Oamu? I have no fucking idea. 3Gatsu is so comfy. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I need to catch up on the manga again. I caught up a couple years ago, and Ray was doing amazing things. Ray in the manga is fucking awesome. Like he goes all alpha male immediately, and starts he starts making some moves. I was like cheering at my computer with how fucking badass Ray was being when the drama arc with Hina that
One
starts
of my
right after
favorite
happened.
things about 3Gatsu, not having seen it, some of the splash cards are drawn by Kentaro Miura for some reason.
Because they were buddies.
Because they're friends. I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were best buds.
So you have really high quality. That shot of like him holding the shogi piece in front of him with his two fingers, drawn in the Berserk art style, goes so fucking hard.
I think I have it right here. Hold on. Open image in new tab. I mean, it does show Reddit. Shut up, computer. There.
Silly Reddit.
It
It
is
does
pretty
show
badass.
Reddit.
I mean, it makes it sad that we're probably not going to get a third season
No.
on that quality.
Oh, because Miura
Uh,
isn't alive. Yeah.
Fair,
No, because the Studio Shaft isn't the same
Oh,
studio
okay.
anymore.
I mean,
I didn't
fair
know
enough,
that.
but we got a lot of fucking Three Gatsu for how niche it is. We should
Yeah.
probably just be grateful.
Yeah. Yeah, of
There's a
course.
lot of
Also, I
other
don't know if
stuff
they
that
even. I don't know if they're even going to have
been
enough to make a
shortchanged.
third season. They would have to probably make a couple more.
Eventually,
Yeah, they'd have to make a couple more arcs for there to be enough content. I guess Three Gatsu just is her thing now.
Okay.
if we move on, I would recommend mangas, I guess, because at least
You want to do
my
mangas instead of
movies-
anime?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't do that one.
Okay.
So
Okay, let's do mangas then.
I think
That's
it
fine.
sounds really quick. I have to just. Damn it! I can't get the good one, but okay, fuck.
What?
This image just baffles me. Like the end card for Three Gatsu where they're in space and Ray has giant muscles and he is like shooting a rocket
this
in the background.
this looks like Iraqi draw.
Yeah, when I
drew
first saw it,
something.
I just stared at it for like 5 minutes, like what the fuck is going on?
Maybe he did.
Yeah, maybe he did. Okay, so
Okay, let's do Jaws' manga, please.
okay, sure thing, boss.
Oh,
Sorry.
Boss.
Green, I just felt like lots of stuff on yours we talked about in mine, so yours was gonna go faster.
Yeah, no,
No?
it's fine. No, I'm just talking shit. I don't
Okay.
even make. Wait, is this? What the heck, Jaws? Is this right?
I like Jaws' anime one a lot.
What?
I think it's very strong.
Okay, Jaws. I have
He's
your.
clearly a man versed in manga.
We have
Yeah,
chain.
I feel I have not read that much manga. It's just that since I
Even if
read,
you hadn't, the choices you made are interesting.
He's got some good stuff here.
Yeah, I like it. I was saying it's strong.
some of it is a
It's
bit
stronger than
random.
Green's.
Like Hoshino Samidare is a bit random, and Akuno Hana as well, I would
Well,
say. But the other ones are pretty.
Hoshino Samadari doesn't
Yeah.
look random to me at all, but maybe that's because I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
you.
I don't think so either. I was like, hell yeah.
I'll be right. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Should we just talk about this? Okay.
I would assume.
I kind of feel like you have to be here since this is your channel.
I'm going to be in the next room for 30 seconds. Just start talking. Oh, look,
Like,
Chainsaw
okay,
Man
let me
is
start off
good.
with a question.
What?
Let me start off with a little question. Has anyone of you here read Freesia, which is the top middle one?
I have not. I was going to ask you what this was.
Okay.
I like that you have these older looking manga here. Very happy.
Yeah. I mean,
What is
there are
this?
only
What is this Frisier? It
Freesia.
looks like Gantz or something.
It looks like an answer. This one's kind of hard to explain. It's sort of a little bit dystopian alternative present, basically, or at that time it was present. To us, it passed by now. In which like a war is going on in the background, but the important part is there has been like a change in the law that basically resulted in the creation of a sort of private agencies that instead of people being sent to prison, they're basically allowed to live their life. But private firms can be hired to then have a sort of mediated assassin attempt on the criminals. And the main character is a very strange person with a very strange backstory that's only alluded to. And he kind of hallucinates a lot of shit, and he basically gets dragged into this whole thing. And it's basically a manga about illusions that people have. Like, it's very not dream logic, but it's hard to explain for me.
I get what you
Okay.
mean.
Yeah, it's like
Whoa, it's
very
back.
very hallucinatory, basically. Like lots
Yes,
of
yeah,
hallucinations by multiple characters, and it's like it's a seinen, it's a very psychological.
Would you
And
say
it's very good.
trippy?
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly say trippy even.
Okay.
Yeah, you just would have to.
What is top right? I'm not familiar with this either.
That's Holy Land, which is about street fighting basically. about a
Oh,
guy who just gets like he's basically
Shoryuken.
Shinji. He's basically Shinji in the beginning, and he just kind of gets tired of being bullied and like having low self-esteem, and he just starts out with learning how to throw just a normal boxing punch, and
Oh.
that sets him off on a somewhat strange journey of self-becoming in on the streets of fuck, I forgot where, if it's Tokyo or somewhere else. It's pretty good, but it's
Green, just real fast, someone in the chat said audio cut out. Okay. I felt the call jump for a second there when Jaws was talking. I'm not sure it's that what they're talking about. In that case, it would be the internet from the Discord on Jaws' end, I think.
We'll see. I have not noticed anything. I'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully it stays
I will say,
good.
Jaws, I'm very interested in how you describe both of these manga. I'll probably read them this month.
Okay.
I had never heard of either of these. Surprisingly.
If you know most of the manga on here, like a pattern becomes very apparent to what types of stories and characters I like.
I know
Like-
6 out of 9 of these manga.
Like Frisia, Holy Land, Tokyo Ghoul, Poon Poon, Akunohana, and Hoseki no Kuni basically all have somewhat overlapping themes.
I will say there's a
Yeah.
lot of bittersweetness in this, from what I can see.
Yes.
Lots of tragedy.
The only
That
one
isn't
that's-
like you at all, Jaws.
The only one here that I would say is an actually generally happy, positive one is Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, and
and Naruto.
That-
has like
well, that's what I'm saying. Even that has a whole bittersweet element to it. I mean, that's Mizukami's entire aesthetic. Is it's sad, but it's kind of happy and hopeful at the same time.
It's safe to say, with the exclusion of maybe John, that we all like suffering.
yeah.
I don't
that's-
know
that's-
if I
we crave the pain.
Yeah, I don't know if I like suffering. I will say I'm definitely attached to suffering, which is kind of the same
We're
thing.
attracted to.
Yeah, we don't like
Suffering
it.
in your media.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for everyone to see Mezil Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Has any one of you read Akunohana?
No, I know of it to some
No.
degree, but I haven't read it.
Isn't this is the one with the weird anime? So I do tangentially know it. The
it's-
one with the rotoscope.
It's one with the weird anime, but I have not watched it.
Yes. I didn't know
Yes.
it had a manga that it looked like that. Cool.
I think the anime does not cover the full story.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's like a short. It's like a one core, right? Yeah.
That one was interesting when I read it because it kind of hit me in places that I did not know I had.
Okay.
That's a good
ominous.
reason to put. That's how I feel like Shiki about Shiki, kind of. That I was like, huh, interesting. Lots of interesting situations I've never seen anywhere else going on in here.
Also, a slight connection. I'm noticing a pattern of cursed anime adaptations in Jaws' manga. here.
Oh no.
I mean, there are
No.
only 2 cursed anime.
Well,
Well, two and a half.
Pun Pun is unadaptable. Chainsaw Man had controversy with CGI. Hoso no
I like.
Land of the Lustrous I
I have
enjoyed, but
mixed
it was
feelings about
controversial.
Chainsaw Man, but I think it's good on the whole.
Hoshi no Samadori was a disaster with poor
Yeah,
production
and
and no
Tokyo Ghoul
panty
is a
shots.
disaster as
Yeah.
well.
And Naruto
Like, yeah.
is Naruto. It's just noticing.
Yeah.
I have a
just
question
noticing.
for Jaws. Have you read Spirit Circle?
No.
Have
you
you
would
read
see the
Spirit
other-
Circle?
That's the other one by. I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I love Spirit Circle. I don't put it on my. It's not. I've read too much manga for it to still be in my top 10. But
I had no fucking
it's
idea.
a great. Oh yeah. I read it like not that long ago actually. I think when I was like 19, I read it and I was really into it. I love the villain at the end of it is one of my favorite villains in maybe anything. He's a really
okay, that
interesting
sounds good.
character. I was calling him the Necromancer. Because I don't remember his name. Yeah, Spirit Circle is fucking great. I like it more than Lucifer.
Okay, that sounds.
Oh, that's hard for me.
But I haven't finished Lucifer. Because I
Does it have
hacked.
like the same art style and
It does.
Oh,
yeah.
they're very
It's the
similar.
It's the same guy.
Yeah,
They're very similar.
But,
The guy has a very like similar face style. He does.
but Spirit Circle,
Essentially,
I'd
his
say,
male
is
characters have thicker eyebrows. Is the deal?
I would say with Spirit Circle, comparing it to Biscuit Hammer, I'd say Spirit Circle is probably more.
You finished Spirit Circle?
Yes.
We
I
never read it. We never talked about this. What
yeah,
the fuck
it's
is going on?
weird. It's just we didn't know. I only read it a few years ago, actually.
Do you remember
Uh,
that panel where he starts like sketching out his plan and all of his thoughts blast out of his head, like and he's just like, "I'm a genius." That is one of the best. That's
I
one of my
have the
favorite
vaguest
manga
recollection,
panels. where
but
he's-
not vividly.
He just has a deranged look. He's like drooling, and his eyes are like swirls, and he's like, "Ah!" When he comes up with his master plan of using necromancy, is really funny.
Well,
And
God,
Mooley says the audio
I'm-
is terrible.
I'm sorry about that.
What is happening?
If anyone else can compare on the off chance it's just him, although I don't think so.
Let me.
I can unmute the stream real quick.
I'm
I'm gonna unmute too.
okay, cool. I'm gonna choke the
Does anyone
video.
know?
It sounds great. It sounds
Even
great
more.
from my end.
Well,
it sounds
also
just
there
like
might be
recording.
there might be a slight delay as well. If you are you live?
Yeah, live seems fine for me too.
Yeah,
so
live
I'm
is
not
fine for me.
Sure, what's going on there?
We'll see.
Yep.
Small chance it is. I mean, it could be Mooley too. If anyone else in the stream wants to compare it or say something, that would actually be awesome. I think I'm
Moody,
at
you need to put the headphones in your ear holes.
yeah. I think I'm at the limit of what I can do. I just set the video output as low as it would probably go. So and I'm getting a green reading with my stream health and stuff. So hopefully it's Mooley. That's fucked up to say. Hopefully it's Mooley. Well, we'll just keep going. We'll talk to
I
each
don't
other
think
if nothing
poor
else.
audio quality reflects on a person's worth
Well,
or
a
personality.
little bit, because if my life was more together, I would have good internet.
I didn't mean you. I meant them.
Oh yeah. No, just shame on you. I'm sorry. I know it's
literally the opposite of what I said.
I know. This has just been a
let's
bit of a
talk
fiasco
about-
because I'm in a weird living situation right now. I hope it works out and you can hear us though. And yeah, I do not blame you if you can't. I was joking.
I have
okay.
another question, Joss,
Mhm.
pertaining Chainsaw Man. Have you read Fire Punch?
I have not. It's been on my list for a while.
I think you would really like Fire Punch too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of that as well.
They made a second one?
The art isn't as good, but it's even more deranged than Chainsaw Man. Like,
Yeah.
it
So
is
I've
hard
heard-
to read at various points because you're just like there's a lot of rape, there's a lot of triggering things.
Cannibalism
in it.
and
Yeah, there's-
other
Yeah,
stuff.
There's
cannibalism,
incest, there's bestiality,
Yeah, there's bestiality.
there's
there is
everything.
statutory rape. Yeah, that's. I love that the scene where Chainsaw Man rips out his spoilers heart and throws it toward Earth and respawns from it is from Fire Punch.
I
The
see.
character does exactly the same thing in Fire Punch. Okay, so it was on Mooley's end. It seems everything's okay.
Okay,
That's
Hooray.
you scared me.
But
glad it's
I know
working out.
some people appreciate like. I don't think of it that way, but some people think of Fire Punch as like, oh, it's like him unhinged, like it's him without any reins, like he can just. It's less shonenified.
Because Chainsaw Man is so restrained.
No, but Chainsaw Man, he's like on Shonen. He's at Shonen Jump. He's like,
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I mean, he still can just make a chapter that's half the Maximum the Hormone song and people get beaten up.
sure, but that's not that's not problematic. That's just
No, it's not problematic.
meme-worthy,
It's just
yeah.
strange.
yes. But yeah, Chainsaw Man is on my manga list because it's glorious.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah, it's
talk
like-
Spirit Circle now.
It's an exciting. Yeah, we do. Let's have a Spirit Circle cast.
Yeah, let's have a Spirit
It's just
Circle
such an
circle.
exciting, and it's exciting that Chainsaw Man is new, and it's like it's not
Yeah.
that new point. It's been a while, but in my head, it's still like
Yeah, it
Yeah.
still feels like it's
Yeah.
not been around that long.
one of the few manga where I was just like, I'm collecting all these volumes physically. Like,
Until recently, it was like my favorite thing to read weekly.
oh yeah,
But with the
yeah.
the recent pacing in part
I
two
agree.
is strange.
Well, look
But
at
yeah,
this.
Chainsaw Man just keeps getting better. It has so many amazing, unique, memorable scenes that just stick in my craw. Are we moving on?
Weird thing about that Chainsaw Man, I loved it, but then I remembered like nothing in it. I started watching a bit of the
Really?
show, and I realized I don't remember
That's
any of this
crazy.
shit.
I have every fucking like bit of it like ingrained.
Yeah,
it's not that long either. So
I loved it, but the actual
There's-
details of what happened, I forgot so many of them. But yeah, I do have your manga open, Michi, and
Okay,
I'm impressed.
okay. Well, it is my main art form that I'm the biggest fan of.
Almost
it's
begrudgingly,
what made me
it's
who I
just-
am now.
I can't even complain. There's nothing to say. It's
There is
just
no
good.
there is no angle of attack.
You just succeeded. Well done.
middle left, is that Nausicaa or
Yes, that is Nausicaa of the Valleys of the Wind.
Oh, Nausicaa's
okay.
a great manga.
Oh, I'm so happy someone has fucking read it. Yes,
I can't believe I hadn't. I'm putting that on mine
I-
right now, actually.
Michi,
I
do you
have the
have the big edition of it?
I have the yeah. I thought I didn't agree.
Yeah.
You brought it over to me as I was drunk.
Yeah,
Because,
that's why I'm
because I asked you
saying
for
it.
it. It's one of my favorite objects I own. It's the glorious double hardcover edition as a must-have, and it's not even that
Hey,
expensive.
Yeah,
you can
it's
get
actually only
that.
$50 on Amazon right now.
You can get that for less than one deluxe volume of Berserk.
They're practically
people.
giving it
Like,
away.
You need to get on there. Yeah, seriously, it is an amazing feat.
Yeah, that's like
that
2
manga.
volumes of Berserk, actually.
It was really
It just-
funny though
it-
because
it is perfect all the way through. Miyazaki, it's so unfair that someone could be so talented at both directing and writing and just also draw like various really good manga as well. He's like Satoshi Kon did the same thing. God
Yeah.
damn these people.
It's pretty funny.
Molly, I would suggest getting over that. Chainsaw Man is a great time.
Paper, they're not even that. I don't even. I'm the snobbiest person when it comes to visuals, and I'm like, I like that they went just like all out with the paint splatters. I think they look cool.
I just
Tatsuki
pirate.
Fujimoto is an artist that I will always be like, I love his art, even though he isn't that. He's not like extremely skilled or competent. You can tell there are areas he lacks in, and that he has trouble drawing some things. But he just has insane composition, like and just like visual flair. Like you can tell he's such a movie fan because he just thinks like a movie director the way he draws. But yeah, let's get into it. I mean, Berserk is always going to be on there because it is the greatest manga ever. It's the greatest piece of art, maybe. I mean, it made me want to make comics almost not single-handedly, but just. I've read through it so many times. I just stop on every page and drool. And it's so
Yeah.
it's so crazy that like the best story and best art would just be in the same thing. And the coolest
Yeah.
thing, it made Dark Souls. It made all the other things I like.
I mean, when Miura died, or right before Miura died, I'm pretty comfortable saying he
That is the
he was the-
Single most tragic loss I've ever felt for a celebrity or anyone that wasn't family
yeah.
dying.
When he
I
died,
was forlorn for like 2 weeks.
but I think he was probably the greatest living artist when he died.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, who's even on the list? Like Spielberg?
Well,
Ah.
okay, I'm not counting like. Well, I am actually.
I
Fuck
am.
it.
I'm
Yeah, he
counting
was the greatest
artists
artist.
and
Yeah,
creative
never mind.
people
I'm
in
counting
general.
everything. Yeah. I agree. He is such an inspiration, and you can't say anything bad about Berserk. I don't care. I don't care that it's got. People say it's gratuitous in scenes. People say the first arc isn't good. Blah blah blah. And I don't like Lost Children. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I love Lost Children. We talked about this years
I love
ago,
Lost Children.
but I love
It
Lost
is-
Children
it
as
is
well.
Beautiful, and it is also the single greatest tragedy that it'll never be finished.
Yeah.
I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Actually,
Yeah.
What is
uh,
bottom right?
Is that
the bottom
shoulder
right
a
is
coffin?
a shoulder a coffin Kuro, which has my personal favorite art style. It is by a woman mangaka, and it is just a dark fantasy like Victorian thing of just this girl going around. It's kind of like Kino's journey, where it is like her kind of going through the like finding these tragic people and kind of like solving their problems on her quest. And
This-
the art style is incredibly beautiful. Like it is just, I said on Twitter that it was just like the most outright like pretty manga ever. Like
what's the name?
Shoulder a coffin Kuro, because she holds around a coffin. The whole thing. I have all the volumes. They look really nice. They're like big like size. They're almost A4 size, like thin volumes you can get for pretty cheap. And it's finished. It's finished like 2 years ago. Volume 7 came out. It's short. Go give it a spin.
This is important, and we need to address it real quick. In the upper right, in between Vagabond and not Bakuno, Bakuman.
Bakuman. I also always used to say that, like Bakugan, Bakuman.
In the corner where
there's another one that might have ended
in
up
the
on my
corner between Vagabond guy's foot and the arm of the writer guy from Bakuman, it looks like there's a circle and there's a rock in between the two
and
panels.
the line goes through.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
This was important.
I did that
we
on
need
purpose.
to address this.
No, I didn't. Then we have Vagabond. Vagabond is also just it's almost as good as Berserk, but it's a different style. But I'm more personally drawn to Berserk, and I will say the story I don't think is as strong. And also, he's retelling another guy's story, so it's not like something he fully came up with. But yeah, it has so many legendary moments. It's just such an impressive feat that I could not put it on there. Also, something that doesn't have an ending, but not because he died. He's just doing other shit, and he almost killed himself various times making it. So these Berserk and Vagabond are like up there as like massively impressive human achievements. Yeah, it was just a fantastic historical piece with so many good characters.
I stopped Vagabond, I think, around when he meets like the monk. I think the spear wielding monk in the temple, and he's like getting ready to face him again or something.
That's really early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's before most of the stuff happens. That's like childhood.
That's probably why I stopped.
Yeah, okay. You should not.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard so much good about it.
Another big part of me. Oh, sorry. Go on.
And it's like a super interesting character and setting as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, there had to be like a de facto samurai manga, and there it is.
Have you read Blade of the Immortal? I have not finished it, but it's
I've read a bit, but it's not really my thing. It's too kind of like edgy for me. I know it's weird me saying that, as I'm a big proponent of edge, but
Wait,
it's a different kind of edge than the
swastika guy where he has a big swastika on it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
The manji.
It's not as realistic as like Berserk.
No, it's much more like crazy flips kind of thing.
Ooh, flips.
I think it's a cool manga though. Then we have Bakuman, of course, is another big influence in the person I am. I just love that after making Death Note, they were like, we're gonna make such a cool novel concept and just go. There have been other manga about making manga, but Bakuman is the way it like effortlessly interweaves like being a kind of documentary and also just being a shonen story in and of itself is so much fun, and a biography kind of. Yeah, so many. It just makes you. I can't read it because I start reading it and I want to go draw. Like I feel I start like trying to like read a certain arc of it or whatever. Just kind of like, oh man, that was a cool moment, and then I like get off my butt and I'm like, what am I doing? These 15-year-olds are making a really good manga, as if it was realistic. Yes, supreme manga. Nausicaa, I already said my bit, but it's basically, if you've watched the movie and it felt a bit like truncated and weird and not that amazing to you, that's because the manga is actually has all those things. It is legendary.
Was the movie done before the manga was done?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. It is like an epic of like unparalleled proportions, kind of. It's crazy how he just imagined this whole world. And you just feel his influence is so hard. He is clearly like a big fan of Mobius and of that like much more detail-oriented school. So it doesn't look like really any other manga. It's like 10 Ghibli movies and they're all great, strung one after the other. Go read it, everyone. Yeah, Chainsaw Man.
It is
we already
it is
talked
really
about.
good. I've read it as well. I will
Then One
confirm.
Piece, I'm like, I don't think anyone here has read One Piece.
It's based on that show that just came out,
Oh,
right?
you have? I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm caught up.
You're caught up, but it's not on your 3x3. Wow.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
Jaws is just built different.
I mean, to
Yeah.
be fair, I stay current with Dragon Ball's manga too, and I didn't just slap it on the thing I made in 30 seconds either. So
Yeah, but One Piece is good.
It is good. Yes. That's.
Michi just laughed.
One Piece has just been with me my whole life. It's like it's so much fun to grow along with. It's such a it deserves it all the praise and all the sales. And I'm so happy. It's such a weird thing that became big, right? It's such a weird, goofy mixture of being incredibly the hype and stupid and goofy, and there's fart jokes. But it's also the world is like
farts.
yeah, it's like one of the most detailed, somehow one of the most detailed and interesting fictional worlds like ever made. And you just get so invested. Like they just cut to any of the characters, and if you know them, you're just like hell yeah! Look now it's that guy. He's back. Oh, I wonder what he's up to. Everyone's like, it's like a bunch of ping pong balls are fucking knocking into each other. It's like a pinball machine of story.
I mean, it's an epic in its scope.
Yeah, it's not all amazing. It's not.
Yeah,
some of the arcs even are pretty like meh, but it's so long. It's bound to have so many good moments in it. It already has hundreds of good moments in it.
I've like problems with post time skip in terms of both the way his paneling changed.
Oh
and,
yeah.
His focus on world building over characters.
Art, especially now, like it doesn't happen immediately post time skip, but like kind of starting with like Doflamingo or Whole Cake Island, it just gets so messy. Like I appreciate that it's been doing this so long, and he's kind of like tired, and now he switched to digital. But yeah, it is a very hard on the eyes manga now. It's like billions of characters per panel. Everything looks like kind of muddy. I love the art in like early One Piece, even though I'm not like the biggest fan of like these big goofy grins and stuff. The character designs are all and girls have same face. Yeah. But like he had a very unique, like scratchy pen style that I really liked. Like everything was so round and goofy, and he's so strong in his outlines.
Like I followed a streamer's read along. Pretty much until the time skip, and early One Piece just felt so much better in.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm totally for pre-time skip One Piece. Is like most of what I think about when I think of One Piece. But I still think it has some strong stuff post.
Yeah, it has. There's still good stuff after the time skip, but like during Wano, I think I just majorly burned out in terms of
I would feel like a contrarian if I hadn't put it in my manga, even though I could have put lots of other stuff there.
Okay,
I don't think I want to ever read that arc again.
Wait, this is fucked up, man. Remember how I said Vagabond has like the rock in the bottom right corner?
Yeah, it's not a really. I think it's just in water.
If you look at the wave, it goes up to the level of the grass in the Guts picture.
Kind of.
Yeah,
that's so weird.
If only his sword was parallel with the cloud, that would be really good.
Also, I never noticed that Puck was sleeping on in that shot of Guts. Just
oh my god, I never noticed that either.
I just saw that for the first time.
I'll breeze through the other two real fast because I'm taking too long again. Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is just. I love the art. I love Bocchi, and I'm a big fan of science and of that like methodical thinking. I just loved all the little puzzle moment. It's not it's not as strong as the other ones on here, I will say, and it's also more recent. I
did read a sizable
for me now.
Yeah,
that's weird.
I did read a sizable chunk of it, and it was pretty okay.
I was just like, there's lots of other stuff that I think is like cooler kind of to have on here, but I felt like Dr. Stone deserves some respect for me because I had a blast going through it. Oh no, the stream quality has dipped. I'm gonna refresh this.
Okay, no, it's.
And lastly, I'll just say Soul Eater because I'm a big Soul Eater stan. I'm always
seems to be the biggest influence on your own. character
In
designs, art style. Well, not art
Yeah.
style, but character.
I'm not the biggest like fan of how he draws people per se, but I love the experimentation. I love the how he's like so willing to switch between art styles. Like he'll just go into like some graffiti looking stuff. Even that panel there, like the scribbliness of this, like he uses the brush pen how most artists should use it, as like an agent of chaos in there, instead of just for like action lines. Like, yeah, I love the transformations. I love the character designs in and of themselves. I'm just not the biggest fan of like, especially early on, how he draws like the faces and hands look kind of goofy. But yeah, he has just so much fucking pizzazz, basically. It's like the most charismatic. Like, he's just having so much fun. He's experimenting all the time. He doesn't get stuck in anything. And it just has some of the fucking greatest, like, 2-page spreads and stuff. Yeah, definitely, Solider was a big influence on my art style. There's no way of denying it. It just, just, like, he's, like, very fearless in terms of just such confidence, yeah.
And it's
a
pretty
good
good
story.
in terms
It's
of
a good
story and
story.
characters.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's one of the stronger shonen. I'd be like
Yeah,
Hunter x
but-
Hunter, FMA, and Solider are like my favorites. They are my big three.
I see Bleach isn't on here.
Bleach
Terms
is
of
not
art.
Why
on
would
here.
it be?
I love the art in early Bleach, like all the way through the Arankar thing, and I think it's really. And I'm a big Bleach stan. I considered it, but even I cannot justify what happens to Bleach
No, it's hard.
because the art also dips. It's not just the story.
Not as
that
hard
dips.
as
And I
story
understand Bleach is very repetitive. Like
It is.
yeah.
And I'm far enough from it now, far enough removed from having been hyped in. And I still love initial Bleach and Soul Society, and it's really cool. But yeah, these others now all speak to me more. But shout out to Bleach for being better than people give it credit for, but not much better.
That's that's a fair assessment. It's pretty yeah.
It's not
pretty good,
shit.
but not
People are
No,
yeah.
its major problems just come from the fact that he didn't end it when he should have in the first place. And then
At certain points, Bleach was the coolest manga. Like
Yeah.
he was such a tight Kubo, Tite Kubo, whatever, Titty Kubo.
I know I always call him tight, and then
They're shonen on its ass by just being like, look how fucking sleek and stylish and fucking instantly like iconic everything I do is.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
Also,
I'm done gushing over manga. I
Cool.
feel it's justified that I talked about it long enough because it's my favorite category.
Oh, I'm sure. The
I also have to leave here,
Okay.
okay,
which
we're
is sad because it's interesting.
also
I'm sorry to hear it, Just.
okay.
But you
I'll
have a
see you,
respectable sleep
Jaws.
schedule, unlike me. It's like 3:40 a.m. for you.
yeah,
Okay,
And I have to get
It's
up
like-
a little bit earlier.
okay. I'll see
Well,
you, Jaws. Also, the
rest well, then.
stream is having some issues. We might skate to the
It
finish,
is.
but
so let's
But it's-
just finish manga and then call it. I threw one together while we were talking, so
Oh, it was
You want to call it? I would have stopped and restarted. I'm okay to go all the way through.
well, wait,
but
what?
okay.
Wait, you mean stop
What?
and restart? Well,
He's-
Mishi, the
he's
stream's
saying-
still
he's
going.
saying-
The issue is my connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
which
thought
is
you
even
might need
better.
to like if you cut it and then restarted the stream, it might help. But okay.
I don't think so. Also, please stop clicking that thing.
I don't think that would. It would. What thing?
In this context,
I did it once, dude. Come on.
it's been happening for like 10 minutes. I
Never
was just
mind.
trying not to interrupt you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, we can try. Anyone who can hear this or maybe not hear it, I guess we'll just keep going and see what happens. And
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna say
not-
just finish manga and then we could call it there.
No,
and-
that's a good idea.
Okay.
The Okay, I'm going to get mine again and mine is a little more varied perhaps than my other things. But the stream is holding together for a second. If anyone is listening, yeah, just gonna try to finish this up. Suspect most people are gone.
Yeah, probably.
Gonna just try to do this
Yeah.
relatively quickly. Yeah, but this is my manga. Nothing too shocking here, I
I
think.
don't see it on the stream. Oh, am I behind?
It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we're just a
Okay.
little behind.
I never realized how much Midori Days the girl looks like the Sumire 16 girl. Now seeing them side by side.
That's actually interesting because they're very
she's childhood her. Yeah.
yeah. And they're so similar conceptually too. But
I think your top two rows very strong, and then the bottom row is like, and I have read few other things also. I can stuff in here.
Yeah, mine is like, here's 50% of the manga I've read, so don't feel too bad, Green.
no, I will
Yeah.
defend everything here. Actually, Sumire 16 and Midori Days is literally my favorite manga, or like it's tied with Berserk and Strongest Man Kurosawa. No, what the fuck? You picking a fight?
I am.
Have you read Midori Days?
No, but I've
Then
looked
you wouldn't
at Midori Days.
fucking know, would you?
Oh, that's funny. We both put a rom-com in the same square.
Yeah.
It's almost like it. Okay.
No, Midori Days is one of the best romances ever. It's one of the funny. Here's the thing about Midori Days. Even if it's not perfect, the idea of what it is the best idea anyone has ever fucking had, and that makes it perfect.
I mean, have you looked at Midori Days? Just a fair question.
Yes.
Okay. Because it looks pretty generic, like
Oh my fucking
it could have
God.
been drawn by anyone else, and the art style doesn't really say anything about the person.
One, the
Unlike
art style is
Strongest Man Kurosawa and Berserk.
perfectly fucking acceptable, and Midori
Yeah,
is
exactly.
very
It's
cute in it.
acceptable.
Two, if you
Wouldn't
can't
Berserk be great if it looked like Midori Days?
if you can't recognize a charming, brilliant, whimsical, fun idea, just because the art style is not amazing, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's not that it's not amazing. It's not noteworthy.
Okay, fine. It's still
it looks
fucking
like
great.
it looks pretty generic.
Oh well, I will say Midori has kind of a round face, which it's actually more unique than you would say in many of the shots of it. But yeah, no, she's wearing a tank top that says "I love Seiji," and she's his right hand. You can't beat that.
Oh, you got me there.
It's literally perfect. I'm not going to tolerate
Yeah,
people attacking Midori Days. It's the greatest story ever told.
It was really good.
It's better
when we
than
watched
Berserk.
the anime for that. Okay.
Okay.
It's incredible.
You throw shame on Miura's memory.
That's fine. Midori Days is the fucking best. I will fucking have like a 7-way debate where I scream at everyone who dares to challenge Midori Days. Is having a girl who has a crush on you suddenly become your hand and you have to go through wacky hijinks hiding the situation? That doesn't appeal to you at all as a funny, fun scenario?
It sounds stupid, obviously.
It's pretty good, Michi. It really
I'm
is.
sure it's funny, but like it's not gonna touch any of my like top 30 manga.
Okay, and that's fair. That's totally fair.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Why would it not
That's
be fair
unacceptable.
to have a
And
difference in opinion?
And Sumeri 16 is literally one of the funniest things ever made.
Okay.
It might be the funniest manga I have ever read in my life. It's fucking amazing. And it's not even just funny, it's clever and interesting and psychologically alive. It's fucking adorable. It's awesome.
I want to talk about the cool things on this list. We're
going to talk about
to the
Midori Days
top.
and Sumire 16?
This is okay.
I don't even know what bottom right is.
That's Shadow's house.
Okay.
Which, that one was
I will
questionable.
say, Green, there is a limit to sticking to your guns just because you feel persecuted.
I will die on this hill.
Okay, fine.
I will face God and walk backwards into hell before I renounce
if you were
Midori Days.
if you were like, I had to erase one of these manga out of existence, you would erase Berserk from existence instead of Midori Days.
I would not, but it would be
a completely
close.
inconsequential minor work made by a lesser artist in the field.
Yeah, because it's underappreciated. It's incredible.
Clearly. I'm
Just
sure he
because
put in as
something's-
much hard work and sweat into it as Kentaro Miura, clearly.
Okay, the hardest working man to ever live, and still having like one of the best manga ever. Calm down, Michi. It's fucking
Oh,
great.
I have to calm down.
No.
Guy throws out superlatives about Midori Days, and I defend Berserk like a sane person, and I have to calm down. Okay, are you taking your meds
No,
today?
you're just giving in to the pull of the crowd. You're not accepting reality
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, that's totally
because
me.
society's
That's
against
totally
it.
me. The guy who will shut down some of the most like socially acceptable things as being well drawn is looking like shit.
The fucking
Yes,
man
I'm clearly
want people to
going
know
with the
about
flow.
Midori Days, and because of that, you're attacking it despite not knowing anything about it.
I know things about it.
There's
Green.
a scene where someone attacks him with a samurai sword, and she catches it in her hands, and it looks like he used 2 fingers to catch it.
Oh my god, that is so fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
that is so
it
much
is.
better than making the Golden Age arc. You're so right.
There's an otaku
Why
guy
have I
that
been
makes
so
her a bunch of
stupid?
cool
Michi's
little
been
outfits.
defeated.
You know what? I'm gonna tear up Meziel. Like, what's the point? Because I didn't think of putting a
Yeah.
stupid fucking girl in a stupid fucking hand.
Yeah, when they go to try to break
Well,
the
like,
curse.
that's what you have to do once she loses her arm, Michi.
Yeah! You have
my
to do
God.
that now!
Pinch is gonna grow from her stump.
Exactly! You know, Midori Days, they also, when they're trying to break the curse, they have a bunch of, poser spiritualist people, and it's eventually a Native American shaman that figures it out. That's cool. You don't see that very often in manga.
That sounds so not terrible, Green. You're such a good person at arguing for the quality of this manga.
Yeah. There's a class rep who thinks she has a chance, even though the other girl's literally grafted to his skin.
And you know her name
You're
is the name
making
of
me-
the
Yeah.
series.
You're making me feel bad.
Yeah, there's
now
there's
stop.
a young girl who's a mad scientist.
God.
It's such a good manga. Why do you not accept this? If
Well,
you
Stop
for one, Green, he
talking.
clearly hasn't read it.
see, I read the things you like. I know if they're good or not. You don't even know.
Do you really not? A serious question. Do you really not, looking at the top 6? Do you really not understand how it's not about like so much how good the art is, as it is just how art should express something about the individual drawing it. It should not look like it could have come out of a like. What does it's like the idea? What does an anime look like in the normie's subconscious? That's what some of these like manga look like. It's like I learned how to draw from a learn how to draw manga book.
And
It's like,
he
what
knows
does it
how
look
to
like?
draw a
it
manga.
looks. Yeah, so that's not good enough.
For you.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
but it shouldn't be good enough. Okay, fine. Sorry if I have taste in art.
It's just
No, you're just incapable of sensing the soul of something beneath
Green
its incidental
becomes like a
characteristics.
painting. Green becomes a painting critic, and he's like, "Oh, I love this Velvet Elvis and these dogs playing poker. Oh, and this blue boy crying is such a good painting. Like that's the equivalent. This is
Well,
like
I can
generic art.
recognize a really amazing, inventive story that still produces, compelling images, even if the rendering and style is not.
You do understand that he could write a book, right?
It wouldn't be as good though, because it's
If
a
his
visual
story was so
series.
good.
but
He's not good enough at visuals to like it didn't have to be a manga. That's all
Then
I'm
how
saying.
did he produce a manga that can rival Berserk in its quality and
Okay,
complexity?
He obviously didn't. Yeah.
One day you're
If you
gonna
do-
understand.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If
this is
the
why I
thing
qualify
is,
my opinions
the
with things
thing
like
is,
this was engineered in a lab to appeal to me specifically.
the thing is, Green, if it's reversed, like if you have if you work really hard on your art, but then you half-ass the story, then you don't read it. So you can't give me shit because this is exactly the opposite. This guy, even if the story is somehow amazing, even though it's about a stupid girl on a guy's hand,
Michi,
he didn't try enough on the art.
I would understand a manga that doesn't really have much story but has incredible art and you liking it.
No, I'm not saying you liking it. I'm saying I'm not saying I liking it. I'm saying you liking it. Like you would say the same thing. You'd like, oh, I'm not going to read it because the story is boring. Well, I'm not going to read it because the art is boring. It's the same thing.
That's fine.
They're
It's still,
50%. They're equal parts of the same medium.
It's
like
still
it's not
incredible.
one. Okay.
Yes, but
Okay.
Michi's still saying it doesn't appeal to him. That's different
Yeah,
than
I'm saying the
he's not
act of
saying your
reading it. I'm gonna
opinion
be
is invalid.
I'm gonna be looking at it being like,
Right.
whatever.
Okay,
and that's
fine.
fair.
And
I mean, I do the
Sumire
same thing with
16
certain-
Sai is really good too.
Yeah, like I did the same with like video games a bit. Like it would take a real, it would have to be like the most satisfying gameplay of all time for me to like put up with it not looking like
Right, and
looking
sometimes a
bland or
certain kind of
whatever.
aesthetic just doesn't.
I
jive
mean, we're
with you
not
too,
gonna
right? Like
exactly.
we're definitely not gonna get into it right now, but this is our exact situation with Elden Ring.
maybe I should play that so I can mediate.
You
Yes,
should. I've been
please
trying
do.
to get you to. But
Ah.
okay,
I
as
mean,
long as
you're just
everyone.
gonna like it, obviously, because you're not insane.
Okay, fine.
Shall we move on to
Okay.
another one?
But well, just to make sure I clarify here, yeah, there's Sumire 16 and Midori Days, which are amazing, adorable comedies that everyone should read.
Michi, let him have it, please.
I have fucking Shadow House, which was probably the iffiest one here, but I do like it. I did read a lot of it.
I like this girl. I'm not sure what she's doing,
She's ringing bells.
but I like it. Okay, I thought it was like a lance. She was like shooting out, stabbing someone in the head.
No, it's definitely not that kind of show. I obviously have Berserk. I have Junji Ito, who is not an all-time favorite of mine, but I like him, and he definitely rounds
Yeah.
out the roster. Made in Abyss, obviously. Goodnight Pun Pun, also my favorite character from Pun Pun.
Was also on Jaws's.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't talk
It's-
about it.
It's I mean, it's hard to talk about. I'm not even sure what we would talk about. It is just a great story. It's
Look at that guy.
yeah, I like
Just
him a
look
lot.
at that guy.
He's really cool. When the uncle showed up, I immediately read into exactly what was going on with him, and by the end, I still really liked him. It was really cool. I like the uncle. JoJo, obviously, I love JoJo.
Yeah.
It's just a massive, awesome thing. It almost went in the anime, but I decided not to have it. And Strongest Man Kurosawa, which is neck and neck with the other two in terms of being my favorite.
Yeah.
Similar to Mushoku, actually, where with Mushoku, I feel like it was made for me. With Strongest Kurosawa, I feel like I am continually being turned into him against my will and being sucked into his fucking story. I've had multiple people say it's actually really funny how you're turning in the Strongest
Yeah,
Man Kurosawa. It's like,
yeah.
ha ha ha, it really is funny, isn't it?
He says holding back tears.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Manly tears, though. The manliest tears ever known to man.
Strongest Man Kurosawa, I don't think either of you have read it, right?
Nope.
No,
Or
but I'm happy to assume it's great. I read a bit of it actually. I read like 20 chapters.
Strongest Man
It was
Kurosawa.
long. I don't remember anything though.
That's fine. It takes a while for Strongest Man. Oh fuck, it's hard. Where I'd actually say Kurosawa is probably strongest in the middle and strongest at the end. And there's an awkward, or at the beginning and the end. There's an awkward point in the middle where it feels like Fukumoto isn't 100% sure how long the story is going to be, and it's not clear if he's going to dive into like a secondary arc before he really goes for the big conflict. But in the end, it ended up being perfect. Literally one of the best things I've ever read. It gets me every time. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I just read the final chapter of Kurosawa. It literally has the best ending out of any manga I've ever read. It probably has the best ending of any story I've ever read, to be honest. And Fukumoto years and years later retconned the ending, and I'm still upset about that and always will be. And I don't even want to read the sequel because I don't think it should exist.
Fair.
It is fair. I'm a very fair person. Or I try to be.
Most of the time.
Most of the time? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you
Like, well,
picking a
I
fight
don't,
too?
I don't. No,
Okay.
I don't observe you 100% of the time,
Okay.
Green.
That's fine. Yeah,
I
but
do observe green 100% of the time, and I
any-
can say that's bullshit.
any questions or comments before we jump to John?
No.
Okay.
I like it, honestly.
John, did you
I
have a
think
manga? Oh.
It's a
Yeah,
strong
I
group.
here you go.
I'm excited to see this.
Oh my god, I can't believe you put this.
Hell, you put the image. You put the image of the box set specifically. This is.
You have Life with an Ordinary. You have Fantasy Knockout, which
Yes, I
that
do.
brings back memories. You have Tomo-chan.
It's fucking great.
I tried to read the Tomo-chan because Jaws tried to get me into it. I didn't like the manga that
This-
much. I watched the anime because the voices are really good and it works better as an anime, but I
disagree, but
I
I like
I
this
agree the
three-
voices are good, but I think the manga's better than the anime.
this
I
is
like this 3 by
surprisingly
3.
good, John. I was expecting something. I was
Yeah.
expecting
Yeah.
to have
Really?
to like hold back because I felt bad for you. Like, don't get me wrong,
That's
this
funny.
isn't a 10 out of 10 by any means, but
No,
this
of
is
course
actually
it's not.
very this is actually pretty solid.
I agree. I have Freerun. I have not read
Okay,
it yet.
yes.
I have the first volume, but I really like the. See, this is what I mean, Green. Like this, you could call like kind of generic, but this is like good. I like this has enough of a difference. Same with Azumanga Daioh. Like they have enough of a little twist on it that I'm like, hell yeah, I like this art. Like I love the girl in the Freerun. Like I sometimes just skim through the volume without reading it just to look. I love the way
art in
she's
that is
drawn.
it's really good. Like it's still obviously anime style, but
Yeah, I'm not
artist
crazy about
has
the
a-
rest of it, but yeah, the way he draws like some like
and then his
mostly the
environment
girls.
art
Yeah,
is really good
I like
too. Like just go through that looking at nothing but the environments. You're like, why did you even bother doing this much detail? You did not have to do this, but it looks amazing.
I'm a fan. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I liked it.
love that you put Trigon on here.
Yeah,
Props.
that was something I actually
I have not read all of
bought
it.
as a
I
kid.
do.
So.
I own a lot of the manga just because in secondhand shops you just tend to find volumes of Trigon Maximum for some reason.
It's been out of print over here in the States for a
Yeah,
while. And
I like collecting
my
the old
brother and I shared
yellow page
buying the volumes
Trigons.
of it
Yeah.
because it was so hard as kids to afford manga. Legitimately,
Yeah, Trigon
so we
is
just
really
took turns
cool.
buying the volume, so I let him keep them when he moved out. So I'm gonna buy myself another set at some point. They're reprinting it in hardback over here soon, so I think I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, Trigon is just a fun time. Another one that I'm not crazy about the art because it's like, but
Yeah,
it's of its time.
not-
It's of its time. Yeah,
It does capture the '90s aesthetic a lot better than
yeah. I like the spikiness. It's kind of like it reminds me of like Hellsing. Hellsing has the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
which
it's
I
not
still
like
need to watch that,
something.
but-
I think Trigon
yeah.
was the 90s aesthetic.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, that and Cowboy
then-
Bebop and some other stuff like that.
Rurouni is also a pretty 90s one. When
Yep.
I have the first 3-in-1 omnibus, but I wasn't that into it. I think it's just kind
Yeah,
of.
I mean, I read it after the anime aired over here because it was one of those things where the anime didn't fully adapt the manga series, so I wanted to read the rest of it.
Yeah, my favorites on here are definitely Nausicaa and Bleach.
I mean,
Yeah,
Kenshin's...
and Bleach again, like everything we already
Just
said
look how
about Bleach.
cool that cover is, man.
It's just
If
so
you-
good.
You see that on the shelf.
And honestly,
you're a
my
kid.
favorite
You're like,
thing
"Fuck
about
yeah."
Bleach is the way he drew their casual outfits. Just
Oh,
their
yeah.
normal attire when they're not doing soul reaping
He
shit.
has loads of like cool
It's
like
just so
clothes
good.
for everyone. Yep. Props.
Yeah.
Hats
Yeah,
off
and
to
Nausicaa's
one of the
just
hardest
beautiful.
working men in Shonen Jump ever.
Yeah, it's just kind of a shame.
Yeah,
what happened.
Nausicaa just a masterpiece. Yeah, it didn't stick the landing, but Shonen Jump series rarely do, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that I enjoyed the end. Like I would say the ending was good from a Jump series,
Naruto had a
and I
Kinda-
dropped
a pretty
Naruto towards the
strong
end,
one.
so I
Wasn't
don't.
Dr. Stone and Jump?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
Dr. Stone has a strong
Isn't it
ending.
ongoing, or is it?
No, it's
over?
finished. No,
Oh,
okay.
it ended like a year ago.
Dr.
Okay,
Stone
okay.
actually had pretty good pacing, at least.
Yeah,
I
it
got
had a good ending.
Yeah, it's nice when things know when to.
Chainsaw
end
Man
instead
had a
of-
good ending. That's in Shonen Jump, although
Yeah.
there's a part 2 now. So.
Although Chainsaw Man cheated a little bit because its pacing was so... Chainsaw Man could have ended basically whenever and it would have been fine.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. Good
Yeah,
point, Green.
in general, this is good. Freerun, I'm wondering how the anime is going to do. I didn't...
I know if they mess that up, I'm gonna be so sad.
I did not catch up to the manga. I got significantly far in it. I was at like chapter 90 out of 110.
Yeah,
a
I think
year ago.
I have 6 volumes physically, and I've only read 3 of them so far.
I am well
I'm
well
curious.
past where the anime is going to stop. So
Yeah,
I'm curious, John, about because you put it as a manga on here. Have you read Yotsuba?
not yet.
Okay.
I'm putting it off because a friend offered to buy me the Japanese copies once I learn how to read Japanese.
Oh, I have the first 5 English volumes. Yeah, it's
Nice.
a fun time.
So I almost plunged on it shortly after I read Azumanga. but
And yeah, the bottom 2 and top left I am unfamiliar with, but
Yeah,
they're
they're
the kind of
com-
covers I
yeah,
usually
the comedy.
I'm not drawn to.
yeah, I don't think the art would have directly tied you to either of them.
I mean, I
They
like
were
the art on the top left. Actually, it's like I like that shiny. Everything's kind of. The guy in the back has the big O hairstyle.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that at first. I had to come back to that later.
yeah, neither did I. But
Yeah.
he is just the big O guy now that I think about it. Yeah, we talked
with
about
glasses.
we
with
talked
glasses.
about Fantasy Knockout a long time ago. I read a
Yeah.
decent chunk of the manga after the show ended. Not anything special, but it was a fun little.
No, it's just one of those things where the premise works very well for me, so that was enough to keep me interested in it.
That's fair.
Whereas, like, I don't think the art style is going to win over any degree.
I don't know why. No, I like this art style. I'm a fan of this art style. This is like
Green's laughing at I said the premise works very well
Oh,
for
okay.
me. Not
It's
not anything about the art. Like,
This is
do
like
you know what it is, Michi?
similar to
Like, have you heard of it
Monogatari. I have
before?
no idea. No,
Okay,
I've
so
never
it's
heard of
it's an isekai where these two best friends that have known each other for their whole lives or whatever get drafted by this goddess because she hears this one friend who's like a loser.
It's always a goddess.
Yeah, it's always a goddess. But this, so the dude with the glasses is this total alpha male Chad, succeeds at everything, and he's really good. And they work for the same company. And the other dude's like this kind of loser guy almost, and he's inept and not very good at everything. So in a drunken stupor one night, he wishes he was a woman because he thinks his life would be easier that way. And this goddess thinks he's serious and grants his wish. So she isekais them and turns him into a girl. And then it's the whole like, oh no, I'm gonna have feelings for my friend.
well, and the ongoing
Yeah.
aspect is it's implied that the goddess basically made them fall in love with each other,
Yeah, she
But-
like curses them, but it's not explicitly
but
stated.
neither
Sorry,
wants
I was slightly away from the mic, but that sounds cool.
but neither wants to admit it, and I think they're setting up for the joke where they both are in love with each other, but they don't want to say it, and they both think the goddess did it. Then at the end, they're going to meet the goddess, and the goddess is going to be like, oh no, the curse was like your shoes are going to get untied at some point.
the curse was the friends you made along
Along
the way.
Yeah.
It was.
And also, there's a character that's just a one-to-one parody of Kirito in it,
Oh, that's funny.
and
He's really not that bad.
It's really funny.
It was a
Well,
cute
that
little
sounds good.
seasonal. It wasn't, like I said, it's not a life-changing show, but it's like it's a nice comfy
Yeah.
show. It was like Kamikatsu. It's like the comfy seasonal that you just kind of chip away at, just so your brain stops hurting for a little bit on the weekends.
Yes, it was just fun and enjoyable. Nothing, but the anime got me to start reading the manga. So
I actually like the Tomo-chan show. I think we deserved a little
yeah,
more
no, it
credit
is a
than it
good
got.
anime adaptation. I just feel because it's a 4-coma, I think it works better as a manga because you just get the joke, you get the next joke, you get the next joke, you get the next joke, and you can just keep reading and it's all there instead
I
of.
think the voices make it, man. I wouldn't have liked it without the
Look,
voices.
If it was, what's her
Huh.
name? Rie, what's her last name? I can't remember. Whatever.
Oh,
She's Megumin
Fuck.
too. She
on
voices
the
the
tip
main
of my
character in the
tongue.
anime.
Yeah.
But her performance is like 11 out of 10 in that anime. So I totally agree with that. All the other characters are serviceable, but if it was not her voicing Tomo, I don't
And
think.
serviceable.
Yes. I don't think the anime would have worked nearly as well as it does. But I still liked the manga better because I feel like it's just paced. The pacing works better there.
Cool.
Very such cases.
Yes, very such cases. Definitely recommend it.
I've-
Azumanga, you can go either way.
Yeah.
The anime is pretty good. I just put it on the manga because it's I wanted another 4-coma on the list, and it's good.
Also, I will say about
This whole time
Tomo-chan.
I've had the Azumanga theme song stuck in my head.
I listened to the OP earlier today. It just scares me so much. I hate it so fucking much.
It's so good. Why
I don't.
would you
It
hate it?
scares me. It makes me feel weird.
The song or the visuals?
It
Or
fills
both?
me with a sense of impending dread, like Michi is looking at my manga list.
Well, he did, so I guess you've got over that problem.
Yeah. I'll also
So
say
for
about
me-
Tomo-chan, they have Tomo seen the ED, but they do, and I've said this before, they do one episode where it focuses on the guys much more than most episodes because it's usually focused on the girls. Then at the end, they have the guys seeing the ED instead of the girls, and it was just so funny when it
Yep.
happened.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty cool when they do stuff like that
yeah.
for adaptation.
Yeah, hey, Mooley. I think we're reaching the end here. Fucking good for you for showing up for a significant portion of
Thank
this.
you.
I know there were technical issues. I am allegedly going to have better internet in a few days, but we'll see.
But we will see.
If this becomes enough of a problem, I might, I don't know, see if someone else can do it, but I don't know if that would even work. It'll be cool.
Hmm?
Role-playing forum in the Bleach universe. That sounds I'm glad you had fun. No, you were in and out.
That's
So
an
was
odd
I.
way to
Ha,
have
ha, ha,
exposure
ha,
to
ha.
Bleach.
Yeah,
Of
seriously.
all the ways to have exposure to Bleach, it was from a role-playing server.
Exposure to
funny.
Bleach is such an interesting phrase.
My exposure to Bleach was literally I turned on I was like 13. I turned on the TV. I literally was channel surfing, and I landed on the opening shot where like all the characters are gliding by and his two sisters like dressed as
Yeah.
angels, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they started going, and I was just like gobsmacked, just like
Yeah,
eyes
I
glued.
remember
Yeah.
told me I would like Bleach, so I tried it out. And that was back when you could watch anime on YouTube in 3 9-minute clips
Yeah.
in
Oh.
240p.
That's how me and Green watched the Naruto. I think
There was a time
It was
when
like
I first
YouTube playlists for the episodes.
yeah,
and
when I
parts.
started watching Naruto, it was in the brief period of time that the episodes were just on YouTube, and I would watch like
Yeah, me
20 of
too.
the fuckers a day, and just
Yeah.
over and over and over again until I caught up. When I caught up with the manga, with where the Japanese show was with Naruto, it was such a weird feeling. Like it was heartbreaking. Because
Yeah,
I had been
I
following
bet.
it weekly on Toonami, and I cared so much. It was all I cared about in the world was watching Naruto. Then I discovered you could watch it ahead online if you learned what these weird things called subtitles were and
Yeah.
got used to them.
Me
and-
too.
And I had
Yeah.
this feeling of dread, like you're going to burn through all your Naruto if you're not careful, then you're not going to have any. And I did it,
Yeah.
and I watched
See,
all
that's
of Naruto in
exactly-
like a couple months.
Oh, that's
Uh,
funny.
And
It
that's
was-
also how I found out about manga, because I was like
Yep.
caught up in the
Yep.
anime.
Yep.
I walked through a store and I was like, they have Naruto books?
Yeah.
When I was,
Hey,
like,
on the
13.
Naruto
I was
covers,
like,
he
"Oh
had
my
a sword
God."
sometimes. And when I was a kid, I thought he was going to get a sword at some
Yeah,
point, and he
yeah,
never
yeah.
did. That was such a
They did.
bummer.
I skipped the jump to the Japanese anime with Bleach, and I just went right to the manga.
Good idea.
Because I watched early Bleach episodes on YouTube dubbed, which the Bleach dub was okay. I don't think going back
It
to
was
it, I would
okay.
hate it. And I mean, if it wasn't Johnny Young Bosch voicing Ichigo, I probably wouldn't have anything nice to say about that series at this point. But
I need to put a
Now
bounty.
there's a name I haven't heard in
In
a
a
long
long
time.
he's one of the few dub actors that I will just try to give a shot to if he voices something.
better than Vince Mignogna.
Yeah, and he doesn't even rape teenagers, I bet.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I thought that's what he does. Or-
it is.
Or
At
did we
least
all
Steve-
just
at
agree
least-
to believe that? I feel like he does.
That's kind of a questionable set of circumstances that led to a bunch of that
How
coming
fucking-
out, so it's hard to say.
How fucking great would
Yeah.
it be if he pulled an OJ and wrote a book like If I Did It?
If I did it, yeah.
If I Did It.
I'm more mad at him for being like, oh, I think Edward isn't an atheist. I think he's actually a Christian or some
Yeah.
shit.
Sounds like-
Like,
this is
he,
that sounds-
first episode, he pulls out a book and goes,
Yeah.
I am an atheist.
Sounds like something a rapist would say.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
He's like Edward Elric made me do it.
Yep. Well,
I thought they were Winry.
we could honestly have an
No.
entire podcast session just talking about mangaka who've been caught as like sexual criminals.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
We don't need
Let's not
to. I
do
can name,
that.
I can
Go
name
ahead
like
and close the picture, Green, so
can
we
name,
don't
like-
aren't reminded.
I can name like 5 off the top of my head. I mean, one is in your favorites, John. I'll point that out
Yes,
right
I
now.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We even mentioned it
Yeah.
on another podcast
Yeah,
with
I
RA.
know.
I know, right? I can't believe Miyazaki went and did this. It's
Oh
crazy.
no, it's true.
I
Kind
know.
In Miyazaki's case, I don't think he ever did anything. He just
I
made
was joking.
he just
God damn it.
incriminated himself sometimes. Well, there's that famous like I don't even know what it's from. It's like a clip from a biography or an article. But one of the producers at Ghibli said that they were all out. Miyazaki got really drunk, and when someone said, you know, the love interest can't be 12, he yelled like, "What? Why not? Why can't a man fall in love with a 12-year-old?" It's like, what the fuck?
He meant platonically.
Oh, sure. But
He
everyone
did.
in Miyazaki's case, it's just the I don't know, incriminating panty shots plus the fact that he said that, mostly that he said that. Yeah. Yep. You know, but yeah, we should probably not talk about this actually.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't think we're equipped.
I agree.
We need RA here.
Yeah, but anyway, so Bleach was good for a while
Yeah.
and then it wasn't. But the art's really cool.
Okay. Well,
Good for a long time.
I mean, look, I still found things even about the Fullbringer arc that I didn't hate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I know people shit on that one a lot. At least it was short, right? Like even if you
Yeah.
didn't like it, it did not last that long.
Yeah,
And I was okay with the last arc too.
If what had come after Fullbring had been like amazing, people would just have
Yeah.
viewed Fullbring as like a little resetting arc.
Yeah, which I mean that was exactly what it was supposed to do, right? It was like, okay, I don't want to end the series yet, but
It
because
just
of the
got
way the
too
previous arc-
convoluted
Yeah.
because Kubo loves character design so much. He made too many Fullbringers. He was like, here's a bunch of new characters. Most of them are just like a fight scene for no reason. When the only one that matters is the sword guy.
right? Who nobody even remembers the name of because the arc was too short.
Well,
The two sword guys, I guess. The katana guy and the big sword guy. And then, yeah, they could just be them. Like,
Speaking of which,
I like the girl, but
I think we should probably end the stream.
let us do that.
We can talk for a few more minutes if you want, but I need to end the stream. Okay. Bye.
End the stream.
No
Okay.
one.